Both fighters doing some pacing here.
Mercer, Morrison, you already got your instructions in the dressing room, all right? Give me a good, clean fight, and I will not bother neither one of you. Two things you must remember. Obey my commands, and most important, protect yourself at all times. Check hands, and good luck to the both of you.
Both of them have a good sweat going.
Tommy Morrison goes over and puts his head down and prays for a moment with his assistant, Doug Drager. That's a tradition of his.
Right. These two chomping at the bit to get at each other.
Morrison feels that Mercer has a bit of a soft belly, that Morrison's conditioning is what will tell the tale. And here we go, round one. It's scheduled for 12. Very few think it will last anywhere close to that. Morrison says he wants to crouch, give Mercer angles. Mercer immediately says that didn't hurt. Morrison feels that Mercer doesn't have very good balance. He says he can make Mercer look silly with the angles and the crouching. Stick and run for Morrison as he tries to throw the jab. And Morrison, the jab, the body, the uppercut. Mercer taking his time as Tony Perez separates them.
Well, right off the bat, Morrison's landed some decent body punches, and Mercer finally landed a punch of his own, a little left uppercut that seemed to bother Morrison a little bit. He tried retaliating with his own left uppercut, but missed. Both these guys look a little tight right now, a little anxious.
Morrison, the more active boxer in the opening moments of the fight. Little chopping uppercut from Mercer. Morrison bows down.
Well, Tony Perez shouldn't let an identity.
Morrison, and he followed up with the left.
And he buzzed Mercer with that because Mercer's holding on to the back of his neck.
Morrison going after Mercer as the crowd erupts. Mercer trying to come back at him. Morrison landing the heavy punches. Final minute of the first round. Crowd yelling Duke. Tommy Morrison, at least in the first round thus far, showing he's for real. Crowd cheered, but the uppercut missed.
See, Tommy Morrison doing something that leads me to believe that he's a little nervous and over anxious right now. He's grabbing onto Mercer after he misses or lands a couple punches, trying to catch his breath. He's got to really settle into this fight, it looks like. Looks like Mercer's a little bit more relaxed, even though he's gotten the worst of it so far.
Okay.
And Morrison landing again, and then a glancing, looping right hand.
Three real quick punches landed by Morrison.
First round to Morrison.
Wrench out, gang.
Understand? What that wrench, man?
Wrench out.
Look to the body a little more. Now the jab, you're not using it enough. Use the jab a little more. Use the jab a little more.
Let's take a look back. Here's Morrison landing that patented right hand of the body, right uppercut, then left hook, and that's really what buzzed Ray Mercer in that first round there. There's another look at it. To the body, right up the middle now, and then sets that head up, bingo, for the left hook. Hit him high up on the temple. If that was on the chin, that might have done a little bit more damage. Here's another look at it, same thing. Right up the middle, pops the head up, bingo, and that's what you want to do. You want to slice that left hook across and try to catch him on the end of the chin. Overwhelming 43% of Morrison's landed compared to 26 for Mercer percent.
See how Mercer responds to a first round that we believe was won by Tommy Morrison.
I'd say there's no doubt about that Morrison won that first round.
Morrison Morrison missing 3 times wildly.
That takes a lot out of your system, missing with big, hard punches like that. Should take his time, wait until the opportunity is there for him to land a good short shot.
Crisp left hook from Morrison.
Okay, break.
Remember, everyone seems to feel the longer it goes, the more it favors Mercer. Morrison would come out stronger. This is not a big surprise here.
Well, there's Mercer holding behind the head, using the right uppercut, and Tony Perez really not saying anything about it, and that's an illegal tactic. Finally does.
Sure, the crowd saw it, and finally Perez did as well.
But Perez letting him get away with it again here, but let him get away with 3 uppercuts on the inside.
Morrison with the left hook.
Mercer breathing rather heavily right now and doing something he's not really noted for, and that's backing up in a fight. Looks like he's breathing a little, or bloodied in the mouth also already.
Well, his lower lip was split in the Burt Cooper fight, and perhaps it is again here. Looks to be. Minute to go in the second round.
What might have done it was that right uppercut in the first round, really, that off the body shot, then the right uppercut. That has a tendency really to make that mouthpiece bounce off your teeth and injure your gums or injure your lip.
All right, get him loose, keep him away. There you go.
Mercer's really using some dirty tactics in there. He's using a forearm across the face.
Uppercut to Morrison. Crowd responding to that. Well, that's been the big punch, the uppercut.
Morrison just landed a short little right hand, too. Right now, he's really getting the better of Ray Mercer.
And a left hand from Morrison connects. Another good round for Tommy Morrison.
I doubt if you've seen the end of Ray Mercer, though. He's been in this type of battle before, and I'm sure he's going to stay in this fight.
Underneath, up the middle, straight up the middle, underneath, understand?
Okay.
Now, when you're outside, you gotta use your feints more. Feinting with the jab, then the right hand left hook. You're loading up on the right hand too much. Okay. You got to add the hook to it. Work the whole body, though. You're only working the head. Okay. You're not throwing no body shots. Okay. All right?
Well, look at this. Really, Morrison, you know, almost double the percentage of punches landed through round 2. Percy Richardson working real well on that cut on Mercer's lip.
And work your free hand.
You gotta hurt him in the body. Okay, corner, relax and get it done.
Well, the wrap on the box is where they both lack defense. And thus far, really, Mercer's defense has been the one that's been suspect.
Right. Well, Morrison's is a lot more technical. He keeps his hands up better and moves his head left and right better. Mercer's pretty much a stationary target.
Mercer said after the Damiani fight, he learned that he really had to learn some defense. He was tired of getting hit. Well, he hasn't exhibited it thus far here in the third round. A little blood on the lower lip of Ray Mercer. Oh, another left hand.
Mercer jumped in from the outside with a right uppercut, and Morrison just countered with a quick left hook.
He saw the uppercut from Morrison. He continues to dominate.
Boy, Morrison is so accurate.
More blood on the lower lip, Joe. A body punch with the left. Morrison, the uppercut. Tommy Morrison all over Ray Mercer. Morrison delivering.
Mercer talking to him in the corner.
Mercer has never been down in his career. Neither has Morrison, for that matter.
Well, he is bleeding heavily, and the more that mouth bleeds, the more you swallow that blood, the more nauseous it can make you and really upset your stomach during the course of the fight. And he's got a long way to go, 12 rounds altogether.
Morrison thus far turning a lot of people into believers here, midway through the 3rd round.
Boy, he looks as sharp as any heavyweight in the world right now.
Push him away. Push him away. Don't hold him. Don't hold him. Push him away.
It hurt him in a way that early in his career he was in Rocky V, so a lot of the skeptics said, well, sure, he's an actor, but can he fight? So he's had to overcome that acting role, and he's doing it with a vengeance here. The right hand.
Break.
You gotta pick it up. You gotta pick it up, baby. All right, now back this guy up.
Well, the uppercut's really been a weapon.
No, that's his bread and butter punch. Right hand to the body, right uppercut, and it ceases to amaze me that Ray Mercer isn't trying to move out of the way of it.
But everybody said, look out for the left hook. Here comes that right uppercut.
Well, he's got power in both hands. He's exhibited that in many of his previous fights.
You're not going to believe, but that little roar of the crowd was the arrival of Donald Trump with Marla Maples. Yeah. Just a little
I know who I'd be
diversion here.
I know who I'd be roaring for.
Inside of 30 seconds remaining in the 3rd round.
Well, Mercer wasn't kidding when he said he really worked on boxing in training camp here, because he is moving backwards and boxing a little bit like I've never seen him before.
Oh, that was the best punch Mercer's thrown. Chopping right hand as the 3rd round comes to a close.
Well, just proving once again that there is no quit in Ray Mercer. Okay. Here's Mercer taking that patented right hand to the body, right uppercut. Of course, that left hand following short. Bingo, that chopping right hand doesn't do anybody any justice. Really just
right and a left.
Pasting Mercer in the corner here.
This is right at the end of the round, Joe.
Right over the top.
Right there. And Mercer saw it. Morrison saw it coming.
Tried to put his right hand up there to deflect it, but it did sneak in.
All right, Mike Marley of the New York Post, how have you scored it?
Well, I've got it a sweep for Morrison. What I'm most impressed by, his power is a given. But what I'm impressed by, except for 3 wild punches thrown at the start of round 2, is the precision. Tommy Morrison is extremely accurate with his bombs.
And I credit that to Tommy Vergets, because Tommy Vergets has really worked hard with Tommy Morrison on the mitts and the body bag, perfecting his technique.
No punches. No punches.
Total punches through rounds 1 through 3, 37 thrown by Mercer, 9 landed. 42 thrown, 25 landed for Morrison.
Mercer sneaks another right hand, and Mercer now comes on the attack with 2 right hands. And here comes Mercer to the delight of the crowd. It has been Morrison to this point. Now Mercer trying to turn it.
Okay, break.
Now he covers up from another Morrison assault in the corner.
Okay, break.
Oh, good left hand from Mercer and the right. And Mercer has Morrison wobbled. And Mercer hanging on with the left hand. The left hand from Mercer.
Same punch he caught him with in the round before. Mercer jumped in with the left right uppercut and got countered with a great left hook by Tommy Morrison. But Mercer is really coming on in this round, evening things up a little bit.
Morrison looking tired here in the 4th round with a minute to go. He kept emphasizing his outstanding conditioning. Well, we shall see if that was just talk or not. His mouth is wide open here.
He's breathing very hard.
And now the Mercer crowd comes to his support. And Mercer lands, and Morrison responds with the left hook. The right from Mercer. Tony Perez separates them inside of 30 seconds remaining in this fourth round. And Mercer showing bounce in his legs.
Oh, that's...
Final seconds of the fourth round. Mercer has been holding on.
Holding on, but coming on also. He's really getting himself back into this fight.
Well, Ray Mercer's round in the fourth. And Morrison breathing heavily over in his corner.
Getting away from my game plan. One-punch shots. Going to the head. We got to go low. Use the body. It means you have to change your levels. Relax, recover. Keep it flow. You got to change your levels. You got to follow up with your punches. Right? What you're trying to do is you're letting him throw first, and then you're covering where he's in too tight. You can't throw to me.
Right. Now's the time to pick it up.
Spit it out. Spit it out.
Right in the jab. Jab, jab.
There's
Mercer with the right.
Right over the top. He doubled it up on it, and of course just had Morrison covering up after that.
You heard Tommy Burgett tell Tommy Morrison that he was getting away from the game plan to start working the body more.
Right, he wants him to go back, but he wants him to relax too. Like I said, he looked real anxious and uptight at the beginning of this fight, and that'll wear you out in itself, just that nervousness.
Mercer with two good right hands. And now Mercer on Morrison in the corner. And Mercer's all over him, and Morrison in trouble. And Morrison goes down for the first time in his career. And that is it.
That's it.
It is
fight is over.
Ray Mercer has won it. He successfully defended his WBO heavyweight championship. Woo.
Boy, what a flurry of punches Ray Mercer put together there. Tommy Morrison does not know what town he's in.
The fifth round for Ray Mercer, handing Tommy Morrison the first loss after 28 straight victories in his career.
Tommy Morrison's being told the fight is over. He's still telling him he wants to go on and fight, yet he doesn't realize the fight's over. That's how hard of punches he took. He really is in another world right now. It's going to take him a few minutes to recuperate.
Mayhem in the ring.
Wait until
All of Mercer's supporters came running in.
Oh, well, you know, at the beginning of this fight, it looked like Mercer was going to be the one ending up on the canvas, but you knew he wasn't going to quit. You knew he's been down this road before, and it came on beautifully.
Mike Marley, you had Tommy Morrison pitching the shutout through 3 rounds, and then Mercer just came on in the fourth and devastating there in the fifth.
Well, looking at the bigger picture, I don't think that Tommy Morrison is finished. He's only 22 years old. Obviously, this was too big a step for Morrison right now, but he did dominate the fight through the first 3 rounds, the fourth round, and great survival tactics by Ray Mercer. Got to give him credit. He stuck to the fight plan. You heard Hank Johnson send him out of the corner and said, now's the time to pick it up. He did an explosive finish, and you know, that's the way this fight had to end. I mean, started as a slugfest, and it ended with bombs away, Ray Mercer.
Well, let's take a look at it, Joe. All right, Joe's going to head up into the ring now. Mike Marley with us, and here comes Mercer on the attack, and right at this point, Morrison's out of it.
He was out on his feet, precisely, Glenn. He was out of it, groggy. I mean, he doesn't know what's hitting him at that point.
Well, those are damaging blows right there. He was out of it. 4, 5, 6. Wow. Morrison could have been seriously hurt there.
You're exactly right. Referee Tony Perez should have stepped in a little bit sooner.
Take another look, and you can count him. At this point, Morrison's out of it right here after that left hand. Now, from this point on, this is the damage. 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. And finally went down for the first time in his career. And Ray Mercer victorious.
And right now, Len, we got the doctor examining. Tommy Morrison is on his stool. I think he's still out to lunch. Now he's up. He still looks groggy. He absorbed some punishing blows, as you can see from those replays. Well, let's send you up to the ring to Michael Buffer for the official announcement.
Referee Joe Cortez steps in to stop the bout. Army referee Tony Perez stops it at 28 seconds of the 5th round. The winner by TKO victory and still WBO World Heavyweight Champion, Merciless Ray Mercer.
So it has been a stunning night in the heavyweight division. First, the announcement that the Mike Tyson Evander Holyfield fight has been postponed because of cartilage damage in the ribs of Tyson. And then the 2 young heavyweights, both undefeated. And Ray Mercer gets the best of Tommy Morrison.
Trunks here are good. Anything below this line's a foul. We went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Acuérdense, quiero una pelea limpia. Dios los bendiga. Toque Montes.
In the last 2 decades, 5 times the fight of the year was Mexican versus Mexican. We have heard the names Barrera and Morales plenty this week. And perhaps like those 2 Mexican legends, this more than just one night. Maybe this is the first night of what will become 2 names forever linked. Fighters know, they know this moment when the man opposite you can make you a better version of yourself, demanding you give more than you ever have. For Berchelt Valdez, that moment comes right now. Here we go, round 1. Andre Ward, what are you looking for early?
Looking for Valdez to get that jab working, those feints like you just saw right there. He's the smaller man. Stay small. Don't raise up and try to hit the face or the head of Berchelt early on. Be disciplined. Feint, use your speed, and use your jab. For Berchelt, he's going to do what he always does. He takes a round or 2 to warm up. He'll prod and paw with that left hand, and then he'll start to let both hands go to the body and to the head.
Range finding with that jab for Berchelt at the moment. The guy who typically throws over 81 punches per round in his world title fights.
I don't like that Valdez is loading up already with the overhand right and the right to the body. It takes a lot of energy, and it's just unnecessary right now. Just touch Berchelt. Don't try to knock him out with one shot.
Berchelt right now is just trying to set up shop right now. You see him constantly gathering rhythm, his rhythm, and also movement, keeping his distance from Valdez.
Even though Berchelt is the favorite, even though Berchelt is the champion, there's deep-seated motivation. We talked about the fact that you go back to their days as the amateurs. It was Oscar Valdez who was given the opportunity. It was Oscar Valdez who was fast-tracked for the Olympic spots. He comes forward with a left hand follow-up right.
Cortez, he gave up a lot of energy to get a right hand block and to miss the other shot, when he can get those same points and cause more damage by using the left hand, and he can also remain safe while he does it, just like that.
You know what this is called, what Valdez is doing? He's fighting with emotion right now. You know, you've seen his face, the way he looked when he came in, real serious. You know, he's fighting smart. He really is, but he's fighting with a lot of emotion. He needs to be cautious, like you said, Trey.
Well, it's a lot of nervous energy he's giving up. Yes.
Almost as if there's a clenched fist before it even comes to the point of the punch.
You see how calm Berchelt is.
Well, what did he say in the locker room earlier? About 2 hours ago, he said, just look at my smile.
Yeah.
Look at my smile. That's the kind of night he felt he was having then and he wants to have now. Relaxed, fun. Now working the jab a little bit here. Half a minute to go in round number 1. Big left hook comes in well off the mark from Valdez. That left hook is so dangerous. We've seen the power from Valdez before with it. Double jab, right hand blocked. Hardly the kind of Berchelt round we've seen, but he will get that engine revving for sure. Quick break, end of 1. More from Vegas in a moment. And there is the undisputed lightweight champion, Trying to make the company proud, I can see there. Teofimo Lopez, who beat Lomachenko in a spectacular win here October 17th of last year, right here at the MGM Grand. He'll have a purse bid for his next title defense coming up this week. Two of the real young superstars in the game here to see Berchelt and Valdez in that first round. Valdez, 8 connects, 29 thrown. Berchelt, 5 connects, 31 thrown.
Eddie Reynoso was telling Oscar, look, he's big, he's powerful, but he's slow, both with his hands and with his feet. Look, I saw you lunge in with that big right hand. Don't do that. Set it up because he's looking to counter.
Dre, you said Valdez has the great asset of speed. He has to use the hand speed and foot speed to his advantage.
Well, yeah, Valdez is quicker than he is fast. He can get to the target quick if he doesn't load it up. He gets in trouble when he throws big leaping left hooks and big right hands. But when he throws a jab like that, it's on the mark. Trust me, Berchelt feels it and is piling up points.
You can see the size difference that Reynoso cited. 2-inch height advantage, but 16 pounds gained from coming off the scale for Miguel Berchelt. Stepped on the scale, perfect 130. Stepped on the scale tonight, 146.2.
Seeing a lot of respect from the champion. He's respecting the power and the speed. He's still trying to figure out his range against Oscar Valdez.
Doing so with the jab, nearly came with the right hand, and then Valdez decides to try to time it and open up with a combination.
There you just saw the size difference. Size doesn't always matter just with punches, but it matters when you're inside. So you see Valdez give all his effort to throw, and you see Berchelt just nudge him off. That takes a lot of energy out of Valdez. So size is about the physicality, not just the punch.
It's a great point. And then there's that punch resistance that becomes so important.
Right now, Valdez is fighting a smart fight right now. Using defense, attacking in the right spots, using his jab effectively. Even with the 5-inch reach disparity, he's finding a home for his jab occasionally. Like there, beautiful work.
And good quick jab as well. Snapping it off. Comes back with it. Valdez with the up jab.
Yeah, Tess, I can't say it enough. That's the most important punch for Oscar Valdez. The left hand.
And you can see blood coming from the nose of Miguel Berchelt. Good work tripling up the jab now, Valdez. Valdez bringing out some blood in the nose of Berchelt.
Valdez needs to ignore the blood and keep doing what he's doing. It's not time to attack yet.
Just beautiful boxing bomb right now. Look at that. Changing direction right there in a nice 1-2 combination. He's fighting a perfect fight right now. Out at distance.
Well-measured start, utilizing the jab. Oscar Valdez. CompuBox has both men landing 15 punches as we start round number 3. When it comes to the jab and the accuracy, Valdez at 32%, Berchelt at 22%. Tried to come over with a right hand, Valdez, to start this third round.
See, this has been the key to the success for Oscar Valdez. Beautiful jab right there. Even though he's a shorter man and has a shorter reach, he was still able to time his jab like he's doing there against Berchelt.
Bernardo, what are you hearing?
Jose Alfredo Caballero said, look, I know he's landing that jab. What you need to do is counter with the right. Don't lose your mind. Take your time. The fight is still early. Be smart, and you will be able to pour it on late. But his hands are quick.
They're acknowledging the quick hands, the quick jab of Valdez, but it obviously can be a countering opportunity with the right hand from Berchelt. Closes the distance now in the corner.
No, we're not
before they tie up.
All right, nothing back here.
Even though that was a foul, I like the fact that Valdez tried to make Berchelt pay for lunging in like that. He's sending a message to Berchelt, letting him know that you can't come in here any kind of way. If you miss, I'm going to try to make you pay.
Beautiful jab right there from Valdez. Look for the left hook to come around, you know. You're going to see Berchelt try to block the jab with his right hand. And the left hook of Valdez should find a home for itself soon.
Yeah, I think that's gonna land, start landing from Valdez.
There was the left hook from Valdez.
It's that jab, though, Tim, that jab, and he can even bring that jab downstairs as well.
And look at the movement. I mean, Valdez is fighting the perfect fight right now. Not standing in front of this big man, using his legs, popping in. He has the quicker hands, using his athleticism right there. Beautiful work by the young man.
And getting out of trouble as well. Had his back against the ropes, and when Berchelt gets somebody in that situation, all the awkward punches and bunches come, and Valdez quickly exits out the side door to the right. Turns over a left hook, and trying not to be smothered, and then ties up.
Berchelt looks weight drained to me. His punches look a little lethargic. You saw that left hook right there?
Dre, do you agree with that assessment early on by Tim?
No, it's too early to tell.
It just looks
too early to tell for me.
And we'll get out of the way of that left hook from Valdez.
In front. Punches in front.
Fires off a lead left hook that time. Coming to the end of 3 here in Vegas.
Done!
Joe, Tim, and Dre ringside here. Round number 4, world title fight. Berchelt, Valdez. Tim, there was that moment in the 3rd round where Valdez found a little trouble that he had to get away from.
Yeah, we emphasize this on the Clicker Show. Don't stay on the ropes, Valdez, and he stays on the ropes just for a split second. Drops his guard. He thought a body shot was coming. Dropped his guard. Left an opening for that looping right hand, but to his favor, and to give him credit, he was able to take that shot on the chin.
Ooh. Left hook again from Valdez. Let's look at Andre Ward's card. 3-zip. Valdez, who was the big underdog when the lines opened up here in Vegas. We checked in with our contacts at Caesar. All the late money started coming in on Valdez. 87% of the total handle. Bet down to -300. Around town, you could shop it, get it -280. Right now, Dre has him up 3 rounds to zip early on.
The left hand is finding a home, Tim, like you predicted. And that's the punch that Berchelt, if you watch his fights, that he tends to get hit with. He doesn't defend well against the left hook. That was a punch that knocked him out early in his career when he had his first knockout loss. And Berchelt needs to keep using the jab and try to get that left hook in every chance he can get.
Berchelt trying to close the gap, does so with a right hand.
Stop! In front. Punches in front.
I love the fact that Valdez is not showing any kind of respect. As soon as he gets close, he starts letting his hands go.
And on the separation, Berchelt wide swinging. Valdez trying to get away from it. He does back to the center of the ring.
You better believe that Berchelt's going to have runs that he tries to take within this fight. He's not just going to lay like, oh.
Look at that left hook from Oscar Valdez, and Berchelt is tied up.
Let go.
There it is.
He doesn't look good. He is hurt. Valdez is on the attack here. A minute to go in round 4.
Stop.
The left hook from Berchelt. Here comes Valdez. A minute to work. In the pocket, swinging. Berchelt's meeting him. Berchelt is on unsteady legs. Uppercut. Sends him back. Here's Valdez on the attack. Do we have a major upset brewing here in Vegas? Look at Valdez head-hunting Berchelt. The champ is in trouble.
It's the left hook, Joe. That's what he wants. He needs another left hook to hit the spot.
Oscar Valdez, he doesn't know how to lose. Berchelt is finding something out as he tries to turn the tables and meet him with fire of his own. Damaged here in round 4. He's got 20 seconds to survive it. There's another left hook. Measures up another one. He brought legs on Berchelt. Can he survive these last 10 seconds? Headshot after headshot. Valdez scoring with ease. Backs him up, and that's a technical knockdown. The ropes held him up. Look at his legs. Can he continue?
Come here, give me your gloves. Dame los guantes. ¿Está bien?
Spectacular round, and a shot comes in right at the bell. My, oh my, what do we have here, folks?
Okay, relájate. I got that.
Okay. Lo está dejando crecer mucho, campeón. Dile otra agua, pásame otra agua.
You don't gain confidence. Give me some more water.
Okay. You don't need this.
We just give you your best shot. You just can't stand there.
Tienes que abrazarlo, campeón.
You've got to hold on, man. Come on, champ.
Okay.
You better?
A ver, dame la toalla.
Give me the
Dame la
towel.
toalla y vaselina.
And some Vaseline.
Respira, campeón, respira.
Take
Tú
a deep
respira.
breath.
Vamos a sacar, campeones, vamos a sacar ahí.
Es que tienes que tirarle, no puedes
You've got
estarlo
to throw
esperando que te
punches.
esté
You can't
tirando
just wait on
él.
him.
Estás esperando, no, tú tírale también.
Here's the first left
Respira.
hook that hurt Berchelt.
Talked about the left hook. That's the punch. That's Valdez's signature punch, and that's the punch that Berchelt, throughout the course of his career, he does not defend well against that shot on top of the head. He had wobbly legs throughout the course of the round, and Valdez did the right thing. He tried to place shots in there and tried to land another left hook, and Berchelt is still hurt right now.
Tim, how does he look to you in these opening moments of round 5?
Not good, Tess. Not good at all. His legs are still wobbly.
Another left hook comes in.
And it's only going to take maybe 1 or 2 more shots, and it's going to be over.
Listen, he's out on his feet. Valdez needs to set up another shot. Don't rush it. Place the shot just like that.
Can you believe this? Oscar Valdez taking it right to Berchelt. Left hook to the temple, started it down the hill.
You got to show me something, brother.
You just heard Russell Morris say, champ, you got to show me something.
Let me tell you this, when a puncher's hurt, when anybody's hurt, it takes the power off your shots. You don't have the same sting that you did before you got hurt.
Look at the control. The well-managed control. Valdez went with a right to the body and that left hook upstairs.
Valdez needs to shoot a jab and then fake the jab and come around with that left hook. It's right there.
He's putting on the performance of his life right now, Oscar Valdez is.
As he said he would. Chopping overhand, just missed.
Good, está bien.
Berchelt needs to buy some time to get his head together.
He doesn't know how, Dre. All he knows how to do is one thing, fight, fight, fight.
Big right hand from Valdez. Berchelt stands up to it and looks to exchange. Maybe he's thinking there's one lottery ticket left in those gloves. He comes forward now.
Stop, let go.
Berchelt right now is fighting on instinct and guts. That's all he's fighting on right now because he's hurt.
All week long, we told you the CompuBox superlatives of all the offensive firepower, but we also mentioned among elite fighters, 8th worst defense in the sport. He gets hit. Not only that, he gets hit with power shots. And that's what has turned this fight into this golden opportunity for Valdez.
The money shot is the uppercut for Valdez. It's a shot that Berchelt won't see coming. If he shoots the uppercut as he's coming in, this will be over.
Half minutes ago in round 5, Berchelt a little better on his feet, a little more willing to engage. But he has been damaged. Fighting on instinct means to punch, to get into the pocket, and he does. As he fires off the uppercut. What drama we have here in the bubble. Let's listen in.
Jale el short. Cárgate atrás. Dame hielo, dame hielo.
Give me the
Pónselo
ice.
atrás. Pónselo atrás.
Put the ice on the back of his head.
Es que campeón.
Come on, champ.
Tienes que. Dame la plancha.
Give me the end swell.
Ahí está la hielo, ahí.
Agarra aire. Vienen tus mejores rounds. Quiero que los hagas perfectos, hijo. Como hemos estado trabajando. Va el quinto, creo.
Dre, I want to take folks back to the technical knockdown that happened in the 4th round when the ropes held up Miguel Berchelt.
Yeah, I don't know what's keeping Berchelt up. It's all heart and all guts. But you see Valdez doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's trying to pour it on, and he's just trying to get that right shot to land there. And that was a good shot. It wasn't a great shot, but the ropes held Berchelt up. So in the state of Nevada, that is a knockdown.
It looked like a push to me. I didn't see a clean shot land right there.
Well, he was beaten and battered at that point. He was barely standing. That was long after the original left hook went to the temple. That hurt him badly. Round number 6, title on the line.
Tess, as long as Berchelt's around, he's still dangerous.
Always.
There's no doubt about that.
He's always dangerous until this fight is over.
34 knockouts in 38 wins. He is as dangerous as anybody is in the sport. And he looks a little better here at the start of round 6.
If you're Valdez, you want to go back to what set up that good shot. Stop trying to just land it and set it back up. That's how you got the success you got early on. So go back to that, and maybe you can land it again.
Well, the biggest problem is that he didn't go to the body. He should have went to the body. Those hands would be down even more, and he would have took a lot more out of Berchelt. He just got happy and comfortable headhunting.
But this makes it a lot easier if you're the smaller guy in the boxer facing the puncher, when the puncher knows that you can hurt him.
That body shot hurt. Valdez right there.
Berchelt goes to the body and finds success.
Listen, Berchelt is thinking right now, I took his best shot. Now he's coming on, he's feeling strong, he's able to absorb and take the punches a lot more, I would say, easier coming from Valdez.
Stop! Let go.
I just can't stop thinking about everything that was said this week. How he talked about Julio Cesar Chavez picking Berchelt. How he talked about it's the first time on an underdog. And then yesterday, the president of Mexico FaceTiming Berchelt and lending support. They trade right there. Berchelt absorbed that far better than he did 2 rounds ago.
But that punch hit Berchelt right square on the chin. The one that hurts him is the punch that hits him on top of the head. That's the one he does not defend well against.
That left hook temple shot, side of the head. Happened early in round 4. Awkwardness of Berchelt. Coming straight in against Valdez.
Let go.
So for a true champion, when you get hurt, you get angry. Once you recover, you realize what happened to you, you get angry. And Berchelt is angry right now.
Not tying up, throwing on the inside that time was Valdez.
Berchelt felt that right hand right there.
Pops that jab. Berchelt trying to close that range again. Off the ring.
Behind the head right there, rabbit punch from Valdez.
Time.
Rabbit punch.
No more punches back here. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Don't do it. Let's go.
So the warning from Russell Mora.
Beautiful body shot right there from Oscar Valdez. That's where he needs to continue to go to drain Berchelt.
Comes Berchelt. He started with the body attack. Now he's trying to go upstairs in the final moments here of round 6.
Nice tie-up right there from Oscar Valdez. That's what he needs to do. He needs to tie him up and don't allow him to come on.
Time!
Oscar Valdez is enjoying an 83-61 connected advantage. The highlight, of course, round 4, when he had 18 power punches landed of 64 thrown and scored the technical knockdown. Hurt him badly early on with a left hook.
Valdez's technique is suffering just a little bit right now. Part of it's fatigue and part of it's because Berchelt is picking up the pace. Valdez has to go back to what worked early in this fight. Jabs, pot shots, and hopefully he can land another big shot.
Look at Berchelt just trying to run him down, trying to get anything going.
And this guy is the Terminator, Berchelt.
Berchelt's trying to get some get back. He said, you want to do that to me? It's time for me to get mine now.
Stop! Let go.
He's willing to make a fight of it. 5 rounds to 1 on Andre's card, including that 4th round, that 10-8 4th round when Berchelt was hurt badly, and the knockdown was scored by Valdez.
If Valdez doesn't get Berchelt out of there, it's going to be very interesting going down the stretch, because Valdez, even though he had great success halfway in the first half of the fight, he gave up a lot of energy with the movement, the mental pressure, as well as all the punches that he threw.
No doubt about that. Let's see if it turns in that direction. Berchelt stalking. Goes to the body underneath with a right hand. Tries to chop down and windmill a right. Head movement from Valdez gets him out of trouble, and he spins out.
The right hand is available for Berchelt. Valdez is throwing the same single jab, the same speed. The right hand is available for him. All he has to do is shoot it anytime he sees a jab right over the top of it.
Follows Valdez back into the corner. Much different tone here in round number 7.
This is when the corner earns their money. They got a coach, their fighter. I'm talking about Eddie Reynoso. Oscar Valdez, through this moment, he has to let him know this is what's happening and this is what you have to do to keep your composure.
Right hand comes in from Berchelt. He's finding a little something here in round 7. You can see redness on the face of Valdez. He opens up with a left hook, goes right back to it again, jumping with a right hand. Here's Valdez now making a comeback. And what does Berchelt do to answer? He throws punches.
What does this guy
The only thing they know. Oh, good stuff. Heck of a round.
Agarra aire, relájate. Relájate, agarra aire. Estás en muy buena condición, güey. Yo sé que andas bien, eso se ve grotesco, que te vaya haciendo para atrás, hay que doblar, pasarlo y relajar el round. Empezaste mal el round, pero terminaste bien, ¿eh? No quiero que pierdas el enfoque, Oscar, por favor. No quiero que pierdas el enfoque, por favor, vamos bien. No pierdas el enfoque. No te lo quieras comer de un solo golpe ni estés ahí, te quedas.
Vamos, respira, respira.
Take a deep breath, come on.
Déjala respirar.
Just let him breathe.
Otra vez. Respira, sigue respirando. Mira, cuando tú te quedes así, valiste, no, cuando tú estás ahí, ya tírale. No tienes que te estás acomodando. Respira. Respira. Vamos al round número 8.
Going to round 8.
Here's the right hand of Berchelt.
That's the money punch right there for Berchelt. Oscar Valdez trying to find space, got caught up in the corner. We said stay off the ropes. Anytime he gets near the corner, what he needs to do is he needs to step in and tie up Berchelt and walk him back to the center of the ring, because that's where he's going to have success.
Consider how badly he was damaged in round 4, the way he looked in round 5, and now stacks a couple good rounds together, round 6 and 7. In that 7th round, Miguel Berchelt had a 19-13 connect advantage. He was 14 of 44 on power punches. Valdez did make a nice comeback at the end of that round, but early on, Berchelt was consistent, was doing his thing.
Now you see Valdez going back to what gave him the early success, which is the jab and the lead hand. It keeps the hard charging Berchelt at bay. It blinds him if you want to throw a right hand and a left hook behind it, because Berchelt has taken your best shot so he can compute a big lead, right hand or left hand. But when you blind it, or blind him with the left hand, the jab, now he can't see it. Just like that.
Telling you, the uppercut is the money punch from Valdez. It's a shot that Berchelt will not see coming. And the ones that you don't see coming are the ones that hurt the most.
Necessary jab, turns it over into a hook.
Beautiful boxing right now from Valdez. Just beautiful boxing.
Good combination from Valdez.
Look at that. Turning outside the corner. Beautiful work by the young man.
Nice hop in his step, and then a lead left hook again. Berchelt trying to work behind that jab.
Listen, I don't know why Valdez is switching as much as he is, and I haven't seen him ever switch as much as he is, but it's effective and it's working right now.
Stop! Now go.
Valdez is using that turn and burn, baby. Turn and burn. Keep turning him. Make him pick up his feet. That's what you do against a puncher. A guy that needs to stand in position to be able to land this offense.
Much better movement here. Ring generalship in round 8 from Valdez.
No, Ken. Give me gloves. Arriba. Don't press arriba.
Those shots are straying kind of low.
Don't hold.
For Berchelt.
Upward coming body shots with the right hand. 8 rounds in the books here in Vegas between these Mexican warriors.
rounds that we're going to fight for glory.
Respira.
Thank you.
Take a deep breath. Come on.
He's losing his
Dale la
legs.
toalla.
Give me the towel.
Respira en su boca. Déjenlo respirar.
Let him breathe.
¿Está bien aquí?
Sí. No la presión. Dale, respira.
¿Todo
Fuerte.
bien?
Otra vez. Otra vez.
Look at this big overhand right that Valdez sets up off the jab. As Berchelt pulls back, trying to use his jab, trying to create some range. Right on the money, right on the temple, right there. And you see that Berchelt took it well.
Well, this is what I mean when I say the left hand can blind and freeze your opponent. That's exactly what it did right there. That's why Valdez was able to land that shot clean and not get punched in return.
Okay? You're getting close with them hooks. Okay. Yeah, they have to be in front of the ear. Okay.
Round number 9. In that 8th round, Valdez had a 16-12 connect advantage.
When Valdez goes away from the left hand, the jab, he doesn't land the left hooks as cleanly as he is right now. When he's setting everything up with the jab, he's able to turn southpaw and land some lead shots. And he's also able to land that signature left hook and overhand right. He's got to stay disciplined.
Such a highly competitive fight. I think many would probably find it fairly easy to score. You've got the highlighted knockdown round in the 4th, 78-73. The bounce back rounds by Berchelt were obvious, 6 and 7, and then a good 8th round for Valdez. He got off to a very good start of utilizing the jab. Then he had the power surge when Berchelt was hurt in rounds 4 and 5. Berchelt settled in, had his way in the 6th and 7th before Valdez comes back with good movement, good jab, and that overhand right in the 8th. 6 rounds to 2 with a 10-8 round.
That was a nice sequence right there. Valdez was on the ropes. He flicked out a left hand, landed a right hand for good measure, and got out of harm's way.
There's the left hook again.
He hurt him with that. He buzzed him. You can see the legs. Berchelt does not have the same power on his shots. When you get hit with big shots like that, like Dre said, it takes power away from your opponent when you hit him with big shots.
Biggest weapon Valdez possesses, and he is utilizing it well tonight. The left hook, switching stances though, and comes back with a right jab, a southpaw jab. And here he is now as a southpaw.
Now you see the body language from Valdez.
Uppercut combination, and he scores the knockdown. Valdez does it again.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come here.
He's hurt.
¿Está bien? ¿Quieres más pelea? Give it.
Can he finish him? Can Oscar Valdez take the throne from Berchelt? Coming in with right hands. Showing the patience of a veteran, of a champion, fighting smart, sweeping headshots. Tim, you said he must go to the body in situations like this.
Go to the body. That'll take a lot more out of your opponent if you go down to that body when they're hurt, and they'll bring their hands down.
Right hand comes in. Berchelt survived the 4th round. Can he get out of this 9th round? He's got to be careful. That left hand again. Sweeping right hand from Valdez. Oscar Valdez in control here as we come to the end of round 9. For the 2nd time, he puts down Miguel Berchelt.
10!
Campeón. No valió verga, que no tiras. ¿Quieres que te la pare? Entonces, dámela de esta. Si no, nunca te vas a poner cómodo. Nunca te vas a poner cómodo que se mueve mucho.
Listen, I can't let him take an excessive punishment. If he doesn't show me something, I will stop the fight. You understand?
See Oscar Valdez turning southpaw feeling good. And you know a fighter's feeling good when they start throwing combinations you haven't seen all night. That was creative. That was thoughtful. He said, let me bring it up. I think he might have heard Timothy Bradley ask for the uppercut, and it landed cleanly, and you saw the results that it produced right there with Berchelt. Berchelt is in a bad way right now. He's not recovering in between rounds. Valdez has an opportunity to step this thing up and potentially get this knockout.
Seconds out.
I'm gonna tell you right now that Berchelt is behind big in this fight, and if I was in this corner right now, I would stop this fight. He's taking too many power shots to the head.
If you you look at his legs, he's bouncing, but they're not steady. That means that his equilibrium is not right, his balance is not right, and he's a shot or two away from getting knocked out.
If he doesn't start throwing punches, I'm going to have to stop the fight. So that is in the mind of Jose Alfredo Caballero in Berchelt's corner.
There's another big shot from Valdez. Valdez can sense it.
Joe Moore's got to take a close look at this. I understand this is for Mexico and their warriors, but he's got to take a close look at Miguel Berchelt. If Miguel Berchelt won't stop, he may have to stop it for him.
Taking too many punches, too many power shots.
Look at his face. Look at the swelling. And he's eating these left hooks. And now snapping jab and a right hand comes in from Valdez.
Stop! Let go! Stop in!
He's got to watch him.
Perfect game plan put forth from Oscar Valdez on the night when he needed to be perfect. Switching stances.
See that switch right there? That's just creating a different angle.
Switches back to orthodox.
For his offense.
He has shown everything tonight.
Everything.
Absolutely everything.
Masterful performance tonight by Valdez.
Motivated by doubters, including his boyhood idol, Julio Cesar Chavez. On a night when Berchelt said, I take a step closer to reaching that goal of Chavez's 9 successful title defenses at 130 pounds with the green belt. And now, if he doesn't have a massive turnaround, that green belt is going the other way. That's a slip in the corner where there is moisture from the water and ice.
Wipe this corner.
And Russell Moore instructs them to wipe it down.
Valdez is in a zone right now. He is in an absolute zone right now.
Trey, it's almost as if you could see it in his eyes, wide open, hyper-focused all night long.
He's heard the talk from his countrymen and from those, you know, in the boxing community. And that motivated him. It's not always the bigger man that wins. It's not always the hardest puncher. Brains, toughness, and skill can get it done.
Well, brains is toughness. You got to stay disciplined when you use your brains. That is toughness, Dre.
Oscar Valdez is the new champion. Medical attention immediately into the ring for Miguel Berchelt. The celebration can pause. They need to tend to Berchelt right now. He took a load of punishment, and he just took as big a singular knockout punch as you will ever see. Nevada State Athletic Commission, obviously with veteran physicians. Dr. David Ober, Raimundo Leon, Jay Coates, as they are in the ring tending to Berchelt. This is a scary scene right now here in Vegas, as they will look for movement and assess the situation. Medical team in the ambulance is off to the side, and they will get Miguel Berchelt to a hospital as quickly as possible. But they have to be careful and assess the situation with his movement. You can see him communicating with the medical staff here. And that is a great sign, as they will go through the process of assessing and then slowly sitting him up. They'll bring the stool over. Eventually they will get him to the stool. And he'll be off to the ambulance to the local medical center here in Vegas, that among all the metropolitan medical centers, well equipped and well conditioned to handle these situations of assessing a fighter following a fight like this. He absorbed 103 power punches, including the final one that was as big a knockout punch as you will see at this level of the sport. The UMC Trauma Center is where Valdez-Berchelt will be headed to. And that is very close by. What a beautiful scene here of the two countrymen, the two men who live in Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico. To think one man has the greatest moment of his professional career, a celebration that'll last deep into the night, while another man, his family and friends, have to watch that. There is nothing like the drama that this sport produces at this level. It was 10 absolutely brutal, fascinating rounds. It was a sublime performance by Oscar Valdez. At 29 years old, he is 29-0, now 23 knockouts, and just took the WBC Junior Lightweight Championship away from the great Valdez-Berchelt. This way, Tim Bradley, take us through it.
Valdez has been fighting the perfect fight all night, knowing when to box, when to move. But this right here is saving grace. Left hook with the movement allowed Berchelt to come forward. Just beautiful work right here, man, by Valdez. Finding the home for it, saving grace, that left hook. I knew as soon as he hit someone, as soon as he hit Berchelt clearly, I knew it was going to be over.
Watch the legs on impact.
Getting out of range, beautiful setup, boom, right on the chin.
Every part of him crumbled
Unreal.
To the ring. But right now, he is on the stool. They're unwrapping the gloves. They will get him to the UMC Trauma Center. The left hook all night long. Oscar Valdez, a young man who was born in Mexico and then went to Tucson, Arizona when he was just a year old, went to elementary school in Arizona through 5th grade, and then parents divorced. He went back to Mexico with his father. His career has taken him to the greatest heights, a 2-time Olympian, a world champion at featherweight. You see Teofimo Lopez celebrating the win. Here it is in real speed. Listen to this. It was before the bell for those who are questioning it. And the celebration, biggest win of his career. Vacated his featherweight championship to move north to 130 pounds. Dre, what a performance by Valdez.
You know, you never underestimate a champion. This guy never lost his belt in the ring. He has and had everything it took to get in here and do what he did tonight, so I'm not surprised. He's a champion level fighter mentally and obviously physically and with his heart.
Out of respect for what happened in the medical situation with Berchelt, we had to give pause, but now we can make it official. Here's Mark Chinook.
Ladies and gentlemen, here inside the MGM Grand, this bout comes to an incredible conclusion. 2 minutes, 59 seconds of round number 10. For your winner by knockout and new WBC Super Featherweight Champion of the world, Oscar Valdez!
Still undefeated. His greatest night.
You both know what I expect. A good, clean fight. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
May have to result to something that doesn't require a whole lot of skill. How about effort, determination, will to win? He's going to have to take a few to get inside to be able to operate and work against Nakatani.
World Championship fight at 115 pounds. And then we will get you set for Haney and Lomachenko, the ESPN Plus pay-per-view.
Right out the gate, you see that long base of Nakatani. Nakatani, when you see the long base like that, you know he likes to sit down with punching power.
Southpaw jab right out in front of Maloney. Long striding Nakatani.
See, in the beginning, it's going to be a technical fight in the beginning because Maloney doesn't want to just rush in there and get caught with shots, but he knows he needs to close the distance.
Get your hands free.
Close the gap. But he just needs to make sure he does it at the right time because he doesn't want to get caught on the way in. That's double impact on the way in from a serious power puncher in Nakatani.
There's a left hand from Nakatani trying to split the guard of Maloney. Fires it off again.
Blocked by Maloney, doing a good job.
Be careful.
And any chance he's trying to body up Nakatani. Be a little rough on the inside. There's nothing wrong with that.
He should be rough and be physical. Good shot right there, Nakatani. But he should also throw to the body. Clean, crisp shots right there. But this is what you said that Maloney would have to go through if he's going to try to get in the wheelhouse and in the kitchen of Nakatani.
Yes.
It won't be easy.
A fascinating matchup between these two.
But I think Maloney needs to attack that left side, his left side, the right side of Nakatani, because if he's standing straight, he'll get hit with that straight left, or if he goes into it, that'll increase the power of Nakatani. So he's got to get to the right side of Nakatani as often as he can.
I like what I'm seeing so far from Maloney. When he's getting close, he's getting the inside, he's roughing up. Nakatani, he's landing a few body shots, he's pushing him back on his heels and not allowing him to extend with anything. Any of his offense.
Trying with the short right uppercut on the inside was Maloney. Oh, it was a body shot that time from Nakatani as Maloney came forward and tried to land the right hand upstairs and expose that flank. And Nakatani filled it with a left hand to the body.
Sometimes when you hit a fighter to the body, it reminds them that they too can punch to the body.
There's a 1-2 from Nakatani.
Oh, nice shot right there to the body from Maloney.
Round number 2 of our World Championship fight here at 115 pounds. Before we get to the mega fight, just over an hour away from the start of the ESPN Plus pay-per-view, the undisputed world champion, Devin Haney, putting all 4 belts on the line against the former unified lightweight champion, Vasily Lomachenko. That is coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Boy, that left hook to the body got everybody's attention in the first round.
Well placed right here. Nice little probe right there. Beautiful game. Ooh, right hand. As Maloney's throwing the right hand, perfectly timed, right underneath, downstairs.
That shot right there, that right uppercut from Nakatani hurt Maloney. It froze him right in his tracks. You see him moving around, trying to clear his head right now.
Doubles up the uppercut, and then goes with a knockdown, scored with a right uppercut. 2 lefts and a right. Nakatani scores it.
7, 8, ready? Come here, give me your gloves.
The undefeated power puncher looking to get after Maloney here.
It's the upper test. Right and left
Hook
uppercut.
comes in. Left uppercut again, right uppercut again. And Maloney's pressing shoulder to shoulder and looking to tie up.
But he's leaning over his feet. Nakatani sees it, he's taking advantage.
Wraps it around to a body shot with the right hand.
Nakatani went away from the upper and then came back to it after the body shot.
Another right hand to the body, showing all the offense here in round number 2. The undefeated recent world champion who moved up in weight, looking to claim another division.
Body shot again. Nakatani.
Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what Maloney has to do. He's got to absorb these punches. He got to come back in this round.
He's in survival mode right now. He's not trying to absorb the punch at the moment.
Look, he's recovered. He's landing some serious body shots right now.
Good shot right there.
On Nakatani.
Good second rounds here between these two.
He's been here before. He's been down before. He's been hurt.
In a dramatic trilogy against Joshua Franco. Stakes are much higher here, though. His first attempt at a widely recognized world title. Nakatani's had one.
I see blood from Maloney, from the nose and I believe the eye.
The right eye looks like there's some redness and some blood. There's another right uppercut from Nakatani.
That's the shot, the right or left uppercut.
So 3 straight uppercuts that scored the knockdown early on here in round number 2.
Maloney has to forget about the head and just go down to the body. Focus on the body. You know, the poison for him is the uppercut. He leans over his front knee when he's trying to get inside, as you see right there, leaning over his front knee. And I knew Nakatani had an uppercut waiting for him, and that's why I said what I said at the beginning, that he's going to have to take some to get on the inside. He's going to have to absorb some shots. He's going to have to depend on his mental toughness and effort because he's outgunned in there by a big, tall, long, rangy fighter, a champion in Nakatani.
Nakatani threw 77 punches in that second round. 59 of them were power punches. He landed 17 of those, including the uppercuts that scored the knockdown. Big round for the undefeated Nakatani.
Stop. He got smashed with a left hand on the way in. And he got hurt, but he disguised it well by just bodying up with Nakatani.
Let's check in with Bernardo Osuna.
Spoke with Stitch Duran, and he said, I have the cut under control. Referee Mark Nelson walked over because he thought the cut on Junta Nakatani was caused by a headbutt.
Hold one moment, Bernardo. Now we have a clash that Mark Nelson is. Oh, look at this gash. Look at this gash on the accidental clash of heads.
Accidental headbutt. Both of them, actually, here.
Not in a bad spot.
Okay, ready to go?
Blood is streaming down into that left eye, but it is not on the lid. The cut is not on the lid.
Time in.
Here's how it happened.
Just trying to close the gap. There it is. Southpaw orthodox. You're going to get that often. Power hands line up on the same line. Heads also.
The only way Maloney's going to slowly get himself in this fight is by letting his punches go. When he is in range, close to Nakatani, he's got to throw. He's got to start putting some money in the bank with body shots and uppers and short shots inside. That's going to slowly start to discourage and start to wear down Nakatani. But just taking shots and clinching is not going to do it.
It's not going to do it. You got to find the right range, Dre. And it wouldn't hurt if he was to feint a little bit more. Feint, clear the punch first.
Just missed a big right hand right there.
He's walking right into these shots.
There's a right uppercut again, as blood streams down the face of Nakatani from that clash. Maloney's been cut as well.
That's a long-range uppercut. That's a nasty punch to get hit with.
And now Maloney trying to drill his way into the inside, right into the chest of Nakatani.
Oh, the hands are free.
Maloney's got to free both hands and rip. He's got to rip those shots to the body and to the head. He can't be worried about what he's going to get hit with because he's getting hit anyway. So if you're going to get hit, at least try to build up points. Maybe land a big shot of your own underneath or over the top.
Nakatani, he looking for that uppercut.
That was the feint you were looking for.
That's
right
the
there.
feint, yes.
That caused. Oh, before I could finish my sentence, Nakatani corrected himself and landed the uppercut.
He took the jab away. Took the jab away, and then you see that left hand down to the body that Nakatani continuously landing right on the right side of Maloney as he's throwing the jab, or the right hand, excuse me.
A lot of action early on here in this world title fight. Knockdown was scored in round number 2. Big clash of heads earlier in this round. Take a short break and be right back to Vegas.
Time.
He had the opportunity to fight for the Undisputed World Championship a year ago, but he left boxing to serve in the Ukraine Regional Defense Forces after the Russian invasion. 322 days away from the sport. He says, I have no regrets. Feels absolutely it was the right decision. And now he gets that opportunity to fight for undisputed status on an ESPN Plus pay-per-view against Devin Haney tonight. Round number 4 here of our world title fight. Nakatani has scored the knockdown, but now he's dealing with a cut after a clash of heads in the 3rd round. Bernardo.
I just spoke with Angelo Hyder, and he told me, I want Andrew to dig to the body, but he's got to start faster and be first.
I'm not sure Maloney can be first as often as coach wants to. Good shot right there.
Could hear it.
Because he's facing a fighter in Nakatani. It's just too quick, too fast, too accurate. But after Nakatani throws, he's got to get his shots off. He's right. He can't waste time inside, look for the ref, or allow one arm to be tied up. He's got to whip with both shots.
But he's getting set up, even off the back foot from Nakatani. Nakatani's not just standing still. He's throwing long shots, and then when Maloney closes, try to close the distance, he steps back and shoots an uppercut right up the middle. Smart fighter.
Not sure Nakatani has gotten out of second gear yet. I think he's still fighting on cruise control. No respect to Maloney, but he's facing a smaller guy. Everything that Nakatani has thrown has pretty much landed. He's feeling good about where he's at, and he hasn't had to dig deep into a bag of any kind. Skill, different type punches, or even his will. He hasn't been forced to do that. Maloney's got to take him there.
And the work rate, a significant gap as he's thrown over 100 more punches than Maloney. Tried to time a left hand as Maloney opened up.
Yep, off the brogue. That's it, just occupying that space, keeping them at bay, putting a barrier in front of Maloney.
But when you're getting hit with these kind of shots, the kind of shots that Maloney's getting hit with, your first instinct oftentimes is to defend yourself and then punch. So after that process goes through, Nakatani's no longer there, or they're in a clinch and the referee breaks them.
Got his uppercut. He's sitting on that back foot.
Stop. Be careful. No.
Just missed a straight left right there, Nakatani.
There's the right uppercut.
This is where Maloney wants to work, and the referee said fight out of there, so he's trying to give both fighters an opportunity to work. But he will break if he has to.
Junto Nakatani in control early on here of this World Championship fight against Andrew Maloney. We were able to listen into Angelo Hyder, the trainer for Maloney. He said, we've got to slow down Nakatani. We've got to get to the inside. We've got to work. We've got to try to get him to the ropes and go to the body. But look at the total power punches through 4 rounds. You see the distinct advantage, 46-19 for Nakatani. He's already scored a knockdown as well.
All that's easier said than done.
It is, because you got to go through fire. You got to go through a ton of leather and power in order to have an opportunity to land your own offense. It's difficult to do. It's a good jab over the top right there from Maloney.
That right arm, Maloney has to stop clinching with that right arm and let his shots go.
He's reaching out. He's reaching out. He's the one that's causing the clinch.
He's reaching he's grabbing the dangerous hand, which is the left arm. That's what he wants to stop from hitting him to the head and to the body. So he's thinking about protecting himself, over punching.
And more success with the uppercuts by Nakatani here in round 5.
Yeah, but he took the power off. Oh, that was a nice little trick right there. He had his head down and hit him right in the thigh. Nakatani is something else.
Nakatani's not done with those uppercuts.
But look, he shortened his shot up and he's getting them there. He's not, he let off the power just a little bit. He just wants to touch him, just as his coach is telling him to do. And then he's going to lower the boom sooner or later.
They are not the long-range uppercuts that Ray was referencing earlier.
Just head snapping.
Yep.
That's it.
Stop. No, don't punch.
And he hits hard enough that it hurts.
It's a dead zone for Maloney. He doesn't need to be out there.
Even when he gets close, he's getting ate up with uppercuts.
But at least he's in range to punch. He can't hit Nakatani from that range, from long range. Zone's on long enough. This right here, this Nakatani's range.
So
just missed that straight left right there.
I'm just telling you, it's just so discouraging right now. Watching this fight, I'm just saying he's getting beat on the outside and he's getting beat on the inside. I mean, what else can you result to?
I think this is exactly the fight that his trainer, Rudy Hernandez, expected. Listen, we've been around Rudy Hernandez for years and years. The brother of the former late world champion, Gennaro Hernandez. He speaks of Nakatani in ways that few trainers speak of each other.
Good shot right there from Maloney.
The change-up shot. It wasn't a right hand.
Good body shot
from Maloney. Right hand comes in from Maloney.
But he can't land that if he doesn't throw.
There, he gave his right arm right there. When you reach out and you give your right arm, it's going to get tied up. Keep your hands in tight.
We're going to have the punch of the night from our undercard when we come back. You got to see this.
Back up.
Okay. I need more adrenaline.
Good sneaky right hook right there to the body. Nakatani.
Nakatani and Maloney here. WBO Junior Bantamweight World Championship on the line. Nakatani with a 65-32 connect advantage and a 10-8 round. Scored the knockdown with an uppercut in the second round. Reminder, at the conclusion of this World Championship fight, we will hear from the undefeated pound-for-pound elite Shakur Stevenson, already a two-division champion. He is greatly interested in what happens in our undisputed title fight tonight between Haney and Lomachenko.
Oh, good shot right there from Maloney. I like what Nakatani did a few minutes ago. He sat on the ropes. He gained momentum and actually used the ropes to allow him to explode up with some short body shots. Not a big reaction from Maloney, probably wasn't seen at home, but that's a nice move from Nakatani. Veteran move from the young fighter.
You're holding. Let his arm go. There you go.
You know, I thought Nakatani was just a power guy. I thought he just had one punch. He's showing
now you're starting to see Maloney start to do what you wanted him to do early on. I think Nakatani is fatiguing a bit, and the power has gone down a little bit, enough where Maloney feels comfortable to do what we see him doing right now. But Nakatani's still dangerous.
But let me just say, he's still dangerous.
Still dangerous.
A lot of versatility. You start to see Nakatani boxing on the outside, setting traps. Uppercuts up the middle.
Good short right hand from Maloney right there. Nakatani took it well. You know when fighters have the success when the things he got hit with, the punches, they're not quite landing the way they did early on, and his punches are landing cleaner and having more of an effect. That's what's happening with Maloney right now.
Where Maloney in this corner told him he wants to fight in terms of the real estate right now.
But that's exactly what
you got to work when you're there.
He needs this right here. This is the confidence booster. This is going to have him come out even in the next round and continue to apply the pressure that he's applying right now.
Can Maloney do it? Can he turn things around halfway through this championship fight?
cut the tape. Just cut it.
As they're going to take a quick break to fix the tape. Remember in the last round using the ropes, we pointed that out, Trey.
Veteran move. Don't see a lot of it. Pressed against the ropes. And you see him just drop down and explode up. Use that as leverage to throw short shots with just a little bit more leverage. Good shot right there. That hurt. Another time he did it. We didn't show that, but he did it 2 times in a row. Just a great time. You don't see a lot of that these days.
That's old school. That's some old school tactics right there.
You either see a fighter freeze on the ropes a lot of times, or you see them panic along the ropes, and Nakatani did neither.
There's a lot to like with Junto Nakatani.
And there's a lot to like right now, what's going on for Maloney. Putting that pressure on, finally starting to get to Nakatani.
Has to put the pressure on. Has to close that gap, get out of the danger zone.
But the body, yes, the body's the key. Start to the body, finish to the head. Unless you have something clean to the head.
Get your hands free. There you go.
Good
There's a body shot that comes in. And then 2 uppercuts come right back from Nakatani.
Which is to be expected.
Blood coming from the nose of Maloney.
Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going. Box.
It's a good fight.
Referee's doing a great job as well, trying to stay out of the action as often as he can, as much as he can. Good shot right there. I felt that body shot right there from Nakatani. That was good. He spun out. Good shot from both guys.
Wow, both guys going to the body simultaneously. And then another right hand rip by Maloney. This is a good 7th round.
That's the heart I'm talking about. That's the effort I'm talking about. That's what I want to see.
Rudy Hernandez has done a good job with that cut from the clash of heads right in the middle of the forehead of Nakatani. Both men were cut early on in this fight.
At this point in the fight, both fighters giving just as much as they're getting.
And if you're Nakatani, you're saying, oh my God, what's keeping this man up? Every other guy that I faced in my careers this far, I hit him with these shots and they fall. But this man continues to come back.
Andrew Maloney is so determined.
Ooh, oh, he robbed him with that. You hurt him a little bit with that. I saw his legs buckle a bit.
Get off his neck, Andrew.
Well-paced 7th round here. World title on the line at 115 pounds. They were face-to-face yesterday afternoon at this time when Haney gave the big shove to Loma. Now they are back in their locker rooms getting ready for the Undisputed World Championship. It's coming up in just under 40 minutes. We will start the ESPN Plus pay-per-view. 3 fights on that pay-per-view, including the Undisputed Championship fight between Haney and Loma. Oscar Valdez will be in the co-feature on the pay-per-view portion. He's up against Adam Lopez. Right now, Valdez is getting his hands wrapped. Eddie Reynoso, also the trainer of Canelo Alvarez. Oscar's father is there as well. As the former world champion, who's been off for over a year. Last fought Shakur Stevenson right here in this ring. He's getting ready to make his return. With a win tonight, he's expected to fight for a world championship against Emmanuel Navarrete in what would be a thrilling fight this summer. Let's check in with Bernardo.
Just spoke with Rudy Hernandez, who trains Junto Nakatani, and he says, look, we've got a guy with a strong will in front of us. We want to be at the distance. He's getting inside, so Junto's got to land those uppercuts to keep discouraging him.
He got to keep landing those uppercuts, but see a small change in his tactics here. He wants to maintain on the outside. He's using his jab a lot more. Nakatani looking to set up, create some space for himself, making it a little bit more difficult for Maloney to get inside on him.
And that's when Maloney's having all this trouble.
Yep.
Where he's allowing this to happen. Just because Nakatani makes an adjustment doesn't mean that you go along with it. Maloney needs to live inside, not just taking punches, but landing as well.
Taking a whole lot of leather trying to get to that spot, that one spot, and that's mid-range to inside.
The last round was a heavy offensive round for Maloney, so he's probably taking this round off, trying to recover, but he's doing it in the wrong way. If you're gonna take a round off, you can't get hit in the meantime. Not like he's getting hit, because one shot may get in there and land in the right spot, and you can go down or go out.
He needs to be all the way out, Dre. Allow Nakatani to come try to hunt him down. Just change it. Rest. Use your legs a bit. Stay on the outside and stay away from harm's way.
Turn.
Good body shot.
Yeah, left hand to the body, and then back to the uppercut goes Nakatani. And here's the clap, and turns on the offense a little more. Four-punch combination, and weaving his way out. Back to the right uppercut. And that's how we finish the 8th.
You're doing your own thing. You're not fighting our fight. You stayed on his range and gave him that round, fighting his fight. We don't have the rounds. We can't give him a round off like that. Now breathe deep. Mate, I've asked for hip and shoulders. I've asked you to go in. If you're going to box like that, you ain't going to win the fight. You have to stay tight, and you have to get inside and let your punches go. He's tying you up inside, and you're happy to do it. Andrew, I've asked you all fight to bump him inside, okay? Now what I need you to do is get it right in short. We've asked you to get in short so that you can rip the body like you did there and then get your hook going.
Not when he gets real close, turn. Oh, turn the other way and turn. And remember, turn right hand. Okay? You can turn right hand.
We're good.
Just before the start of this 9th round, Angelo Hyder, the trainer for Andrew Maloney, said to his title challenger here, he said, you have to get to the inside, and when you're there, you have to let your hands go. They feel that they can't give any more rounds away here. Angelo Hyder, who a week ago was in the corner of Andrew's brother Jason when Jason won, when Jason became a bantamweight champion last week. Now the pressure's on Andrew, the twin brother.
Yes, it is, and he told him right. He was honest with him in the corner, and that's what a fighter needs to hear. He's doing the right thing. He's back in the pocket where he belongs, where he should be. And he's doing the bump that his trainer was asking for as well.
Jason was great last week in just sticking to a game plan and doing what he needed to do against Vincent Astrolabia. Just stuck with the jab, boxed his way to a win. This is a much tougher challenge for this Maloney against Nakatani.
Yes, it is.
Nakatani is like 3 Astrolabias.
Yes, absolutely. Remember, Nakatani scored the knockdown in round number 2.
Yeah, he's slick on the inside, too. Finding small little angles to shoot his uppercuts from. Nice little turnout right there, a little hop pivot.
Yeah, I don't know what turned off in Maloney after the 7th round, which was a competitive round for both, but a good round for him. This 8th round and the 9th, he's just turned off. He seems to not have that same fire that he had when he started to pick up the pace.
Dre, to your point, in round 6 and round 7, he outlanded Junto Nakatani. He outworked him, he outlanded him, and his corner said that to him exactly. He gave him the 8th round off. You cannot do that in a world championship fight.
Well, it's a long way back to Australia.
And remember, you already have a 10-8 round against you early on.
It's just one of those fights where you have to go beyond how you feel. You have to stop thinking, and you have to just work and try to pile up points and try to get a shot through that can hurt your opponent. And you may risk getting knocked out in order to try to get your shot through.
Nice left hook.
Punching between punches.
That's what he needs to do.
Nakatani willing with these exchanges, isn't he?
Got a question for you, Tess. Who has to work harder? The shorter runner or the taller runner with long legs?
Yeah, shorter guy.
Exactly. That's what's happening right now. Maloney has to work harder, 10 times more than Nakatani to be able to get to where he needs to get to. So he's starting to fade and he's absorbing a ton of punishment.
And there's only going to be 9 minutes left to solve it all.
Just want you to check him out.
That's what we want.
That was great, Andrew, when you pushed him back like that. That was great. Andrew,
Sit down if you want.
Those short punches are the ones that are going to knock him out,
Andrew, you're throwing him from the middle range, right? We need you to get inside and bump and shorten it up where he can't punch. You're trading with him at the moment, getting in your range. Do you understand? Andy, we've got to win these rounds. We may even need to stop him, okay? So you've got to get inside and you've got to throw 2 hands to the body. Andrew, but you've got to throw short shots from your range, okay? Andrew, hit the body and come up with that left hook short. That's the one that'll catch him and the right one's catching him. But do it from your range. Now breathe deep. Andrew, don't try too hard. Andrew, don't try too hard. Do it with timing, okay? Timing.
Listen to how calm Angelo Hyder was in delivering an urgent message. That is a great, I don't care if it's boxing, I don't care if it's any form of sports coaching, leadership, management. That was a clinic right there.
I agree.
He knows his fighter is trailing. He knows time is running out. It's round number 10 of a championship fight. He's delivering a message that we may need to stop him, but he's delivering it in a calm, purposeful, direct way. That was masterful by Angelo Hyder.
Yeah, there's no panic in his voice.
Yes.
But there's urgency, and there's a difference.
Now, his guy's got to do it. That's the issue. Because Nakatani's been in control. He's outlanded Maloney 109 to 82. He has a power punch connected advantage of 100 to 75, and he has scored a knockdown in this fight.
Nakatani doesn't give you the look, nor does he have the build of what you would call a tough guy, but he's a tough guy.
Yes, he is.
He's been hit with some shots tonight. He's had his way for the most part in this fight, but he's not afraid. He doesn't mind scrapping and getting in close. It just doesn't serve him very well, but the toughness is there. Former champion, different division. He's the real deal.
Yeah, it's interesting to think he's the bigger, longer guy. He was a champion at flyweight, so he's moved up here to 115 pounds and could be coming in to a victory in moments unless Maloney can turn things around late. You heard what his own corner had to say about that.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of guys in this division is going to be running towards Nakatani and wanting to fight him, especially if he wins this fight tonight.
Good hold, guys. Andrew, let him go.
Maloney's got 2.5 rounds to try to make something happen.
He needs a knockout.
And he wants to go home and be on that long flight knowing that he's done everything that he possibly can. He can't leave anything here or leave anything in the tank. He wants to leave it all here. See, he's in range. He just didn't let it go right there. That time he did.
1-2 from range. Another 1-2. Nakatani's in rhythm. There's that left uppercut back to the right uppercut. That's how he scored the knockdown in the second round. Rudy Hernandez, his trainer, said, I started training him when he was 15 years old, and it just clicked. This was a guy on a mission since the time he was 15 years old to be at this level.
He said he was so disciplined.
Yes.
Never seen a fighter or had another fighter that was disciplined as Nakatani.
And that's coming from a man whose brother was an elite world champion.
Yes.
Get the loose tape, okay?
Breathe deep. Need you to breathe deep. Mate, there's parts in there that you're hurting him with the left hook. Andrew, but we need to bump. Now breathe for me, breathe. Just breathe and relax your body. Just relax. 2 rounds to go.
We have 2 rounds.
2 rounds to go.
Want to cut it? Just cut it off.
Breathe, just breathe. Andrew, Canelo style, tight hands, bump him back, and then work that short left hook, right hand. Right hand, left hook. Old school tough stuff. Andrew, 2 hands, not 1. Not just a left hook. If you give me left hook, right hands, left hook, I reckon you can knock him. But it's got to be right on his chest.
Old school tough stuff, says Angelo Hyder, as the championship rounds have arrived, as we are now under a half an hour to go. There's that clock down. That countdown clock is getting you set for Haney and Lomachenko. ESPN Plus pay-per-view. You do it on your app. You can do it online. Just click the fight tile, buy the pay-per-view, and you get Haney and Lomachenko and 2 other very good fights. Bernardo, what do you have?
Rudy Hernandez wants this rhythm for his Junto Nakatani. He says speed, speed, power. Don't load up on every shot. Set it up behind the jab and then let him have it.
That's something you often talk about, Jimmy, the different pace of punches.
Yeah, because the opponent, he gets used to getting hit with the same pace, the same rate. Now, if you switch it up, then you surprise them. Remember, it's the punch that they don't see is the one that usually hurts them.
Championship rounds here. WBO. Your bantamweight title on the line. Nakatani had a flyweight belt. Maloney, an interim belt. Oh! A straight left hand floors Maloney.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You good? You good?
Long range left hand from Nakatani. He has been sharpshooting all night in complete control. The undefeated title-seeking Junto Nakatani. Comes with the left hand again. Tries to split the guard behind the jab. Maloney looking to tie up. Still over a minute to survive here in round number 11.
Protect yourself.
Straight left hand, right on the money. Another one, Tess. Maloney's doing his best to try to clear his head and trying to keep himself in this fight right now.
Give me your gloves. You good? You protect yourself.
There's that uppercut. He has shown everything in the offensive arsenal tonight. Even that little stop and pop was able to affect him. Maloney just trying to get to the inside to tie up. Final half minute here of round 11.
I can tell you this, you can't doubt the toughness of Maloney. He is one tough cookie.
He is tough. But let me say this. Nakatani's good.
Yeah.
But he is really good.
Yes, he is.
There are a lot of folks who have been watching him train, who have been seeing the ascent with the sparring, and in recent weeks said, watch out, this kid's got it. He does. He's got it.
Andrew? Yeah. You're sitting outside and you're getting hurt a bit, mate. I think we might have to stop it, mate, because you're not listening. You haven't been listening for a couple of rounds, Andy. Well, if you're okay, mate, you've got to stay on his chest, and you've got to throw your short hooks and short punches, short. The second you're waiting out long, we're stopping it. Okay. You got it? Yeah, thank you.
Angelo Hyder was just about to stop the fight, and he gave his fighter another chance. He said, you haven't been listening. You're taking damage. You're getting hurt.
Sit outside, stop. We'll stop it straight away.
Well, Nakatani set it up off the jab. Nice stick right there. You see the jab. Do you see Maloney? He moved his head to the left to avoid the jab, but then he brought his head right back to the middle towards the left hand of Nakatani, getting caught right on the chin and set on his behind.
And look at the damage that's done. Look at Maloney's face and his right eye. 12th and final round. You heard what Hyder said. He said, if you take any damage here, we're going to stop the fight. Nakatani is closing in on a second division world championship. The undefeated fighter has been in absolute control all night long.
Well, Tess, he said he wants to be exactly like his countryman. He said he wants to climb up the ranks and go from weight class to weight class and dominate.
Like Naoya Inoue.
Yes.
Who was the recent undisputed bantamweight champion, who now is going to 122 pounds for a showdown fight for unification against Stephen Fulton, July 25th on ESPN+. That is a great matchup among world champions. Double jab, left hand, uppercut, trying to split the guard. Maloney's face showing you all you need to see.
Tess, he's so dangerous. Nakatani is so dangerous because not only can he keep his height and his reach and hit you from the outside, he also can fight in the inside. He can battle you where the smaller guys like to operate. Andrew's still trying to do his best to close the gap and land some shots. A lot of fatigue. He absorbed a ton of punishment throughout the course of this fight. And he's giving it everything he has in this last round. Whatever's left in the tank, he's giving. Where you see Nakatani, he's just buying his time right now. He's just trying to set up one last punch, trying to end this fight with one shot.
Remember, this fight was almost stopped after the 11th round by the corner of Maloney. They sent him back out, and now he's a half minute away from going the distance in what will most likely be lopsided scores and a championship won for Nakatani.
That was devastating. He is laid out in brutal fashion. Absolute devastating dynamite power by Nakatani, and now there is a situation in the ring with Maloney. They need medical attention in there right away. That was as brutal of a single punch as you will ever see. Unbelievable punch, and they are needing medical attention immediately for Maloney.
I told you we're setting him up for one shot.
Remember, his corner thought about not sending him out for the 12th round.
Yeah, there's two in there.
They said he was taking too much punishment, and now this is how it finishes. As big a single punch moment of power as a fighter can absorb, and he absorbed it after 12 brutal rounds and being knocked down twice. They have the highest level of a trauma center here in Las Vegas. The ringside physicians and the local doctors are well equipped to observe situations with fighters, more so than any area in the country. And that will be the case for Andrew Maloney, as that's an excellent sign that he is sitting upright and he is aware. But he will undoubtedly be off to the hospital for observations. Tim, everything else is just a game. You don't play boxing.
You don't play boxing.
This is life and death.
Yes. And this is why the disappointment sets in on a fighter who gets brutally knocked out like this or loses a fight, because you do everything right. Understand that in your training, in your preparation, and it's not good enough. So disappointing.
That is a dangerous situation when a fighter has absorbed so much, when his corner acknowledges it, nearly did not send him out, and then you have that level of single punch power that lands as purely flush as it can.
Tess, I told you, he was setting them up. He was taking power off his shots. He's changed the way his front was.
Now that he is on his feet, we will show you the replay. As everybody has assessed Maloney, he's on his feet. Here's what happened.
My gosh.
Watch his legs. That's all you need to know. Watch the legs.
Flick jab. Stan getting range. He sees him coming in. Times him perfectly. Gets his head off the line. Looping left hand. Knuckles pointed down. Oh my goodness.
It's as big as it gets. It's as powerful of a single knockout punch as you'll see in the sport. Junto Nakatani wins a world championship and stays undefeated with this monstrous left hand. And I want you to see it in real time and listen to it. Here it is. Listen to this punch. We are feet away from that when it happened in real time. Tim, it was like a human shotgun.
Yes, it was.
Going off.
Yes, it was. Scary. Scary. As I sat here and I watched this and seeing Maloney collapse the way he did. But what a shot from Nakatani, the new champion in this division.
You see things in this sport that you just don't see elsewhere. When moments like that happen, it is dramatic. It takes your breath away. It is dramatic. It is concerning. And thank goodness that Maloney was able to get to his feet and will have medical attention. We have a new world champion, and it's time to celebrate Junto Nakatani.
Ladies and gentlemen, here inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena, this bout comes to a conclusion at 2 minutes, 42 seconds of round number 12. For your winner by knockout, and now the WBO Junior Bantamweight Champion of the World, Junto Nakatani!
There have been some great knockouts this year in boxing. That is the front runner for knockout of the year, and I don't know that anything's going to challenge him. Unbelievable.
Okay, gentlemen, you both received your instructions in the dressing room. Okay, look, right here is good, anything below that's low. Right here is good, anything below that's low. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times, above all, protect yourselves at all times. Let's go.
Tony Weeks is the referee tonight. This for the vacant IBF welterweight belt. 12 rounds, at least that's what it's scheduled for. Randall Bailey, again, heavy hands, one of the best knockout punchers in the sport, pound for pound.
Let's go.
Past his prime, but he's got the heavy hands. Mike Jones has worked his whole life for this moment. Again, the steady advancement up to make this challenge for his first world championship fight.
Here we go. As Bailey imposes will, does he try to let it all out? He seems pretty calculated in his approach.
I wonder, Mario, how Bailey will make this tactically. If he's going to think if there's the best chance to get at Jones, it's early and with something he doesn't see, and then from which he cannot recover. That, to me, seems like his best chance.
Well, that's why I was sort of intimating that he would start off a little more aggressively, but clearly he has another game plan.
Well, yeah, Jones, look, he's a complete fighter. That means you cannot just walk in on him. That jab is not going to let you get in his space.
No, they're, I mean, big welterweights. Both of these guys are big welterweights, and Jones in particular, big welterweights. Hasn't thrown a jab. First punch that big left hook, but not utilizing that jab yet.
Bailey takes a good, long, slow look. You see the jab is just lingering down there, and the right hand is cocked and ready. That's the power shot. Jones is circling to his right, away from the power right hand.
Yes.
You see, there it was. There's the first long right hand, and even on a whiff, you can feel it. Yep.
Feel it, yeah.
It kind of whistled, didn't it?
It did. And if I'm Randall Bailey, I'm throwing it to the body, I'm throwing it to the head, and I'm going out a little more actively. I think it's going to behoove me.
Nice snapping jab from Bailey. Got to give him credit for that. It was a landed, good scoring shot. That could change the fight, certainly, if he could land that on a regular basis. Jones was surprised by it. Went after him there, and Jones had jumped in by the time Bailey was going to uncork that right hand. Just, if you want to watch something, I would say watch that right shoulder of Randall Bailey. That's the shot that's going to come firing off that will make a difference.
Yeah, he shoots that out of there really quick. And you can see how it's done all the damage it has over the years.
Jones with his hands high, well, he is defensively responsible.
Jones showing him a lot of respect.
No question. Bailey again is 37, so he's got to think of his energy level. He's got to have that flame on low, and that hook landed, touching the face of Bailey. Didn't do a lot of damage, but it caught him. Tried to unload with a big right hand, did Bailey, and he missed.
That was a counter shot, and that's usually where Bailey has a lot of his success.
Jones, I think you're right, Mario. He is wary. Use another word, wary of the right hand, and he's gonna take his time. He's got 12 rounds to make this happen. And he's not worried about particularly winning this round right here.
Clearly a feeling out round. A lot of respect for him.
One round, it was kind of slow, but fairly dangerous. Never quite heard it say that way. Stay off the line. Right. Meaning if you back straight up, the train is coming down the tracks. You back straight up, you're going to get run over.
And that's exactly what he meant by it. And he also told him to use his jab. Jones didn't use any jabs and kept him at a distance, just sort of letting Bailey gain some confidence and time him and come right to him. There he goes, lunging in with big left hooks and not jabbing the way his trainer instructed. Now, this is not a type of fight he wants to get into this early on with a Randall Bailey.
Right. In that firefight, you could easily lose with one shot that Bailey throws. You see the right hand. It's vicious.
Stop.
Give Jones this, though. He came out. There's a lot more aggression in the opening seconds. And I think, just as Vaughn Jackson was saying, if the work rate sometimes can take care of a lot of the problems that are in a ring with a particular opponent. If you're throwing jabs, if you're busy, and you're complete, and look, Jones is, a lot of that you can take care of things. As people start to boo, inexplicably, I'm a little early for that, I think.
It's a little early.
They just saw Guillermo Rigondeaux, I guess, poleaxe somebody, and they want more blood.
We've been very spoiled so far. I believe there's a thumb in the eye or somewhat, or maybe possible headbutt.
Bailey took a long look and looked for blood on his own glove as he swiped the left side of his face.
Surprisingly, Jones completely ignoring the instruction of his corner by not jowling.
We're told now that was a headbutt. That was the heads coming together, and he just wanted to make sure Jones did that he wasn't caught. You're right. I haven't seen that, and I'm wondering why.
Not one solid jab, Brian. Not one. I've been looking. Sort of pawing, and they're throwing a lot of left hooks.
There's one.
Looping left hooks, but not sticking a straight long jab, which he normally does, and it's a big part of his repertoire.
And again, if you're a guy who is a boxer, and he's a true boxer, and he has the amateur pedigree, the first things you learn, you get off first, throw the jab. It takes care of a lot of problems.
It takes care of a lot of problems. You can set everything else up off of, set everything else up off of that. And none of the fighters have really gone to the body either, and both corners are asking to do so. As you can hear, John David Jackson in the corner.
You made a good point, Mario, when you said it's Brian Kennedy and Mario Lopez here, ringside MGM Grand Garden Arena. Pacquiao Bradley, the main event. This is Mike Jones, Randall Bailey. The point you made was this is not the fight that Jones would want. And you're right, this is almost like we're going to stand back, then we're going to engage in something vicious, and then stand back. And that is exactly the fight Randall Bailey will be good for.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if Mike Jones is showing him a little too much respect and hoping to take him into the middle rounds and maybe impose his will a little bit more, but his trainer can't be too happy, which we'll see if we make it out in the next 23 seconds. Sort of pawing that jab, not really sticking it out.
There is good length from Bailey, and maybe that's bothering him. You know, that jab does get out there. Again, he's 5'9", he's 2 inches shorter, as Jones is on the attack now, but ineffectively. Maybe the length of Bailey, the experience, of course, is 37 years old. That seems to be keeping him at bay. He's been frustrated.
Yes, he's been frustrated.
He has not been able to get off first. Let's see if he changed that. He comes out aggressively now. Let's see if things change. Round number 3. Again, we've got this fight. Then we've got Jorge Arce versus Jesus Rojas. Featherweight clash against, again, the popular Jorge Arce, one of the most exciting fighters. There's a big right hand from Jones. And then we have the main event, Pacquiao and Bradley.
Now Jones seems to be waking up a little bit, and that's what he's got to do, is let his hands go. Jones winging, throwing some hard shots.
Good power shots there from Mike Jones as he opened up with a good 3 or 4 punch combination. By the way, he's throwing them very viciously. There's real intent. As they say, I have the Tyson era still ingrained in me, Mario.
Bad intentions.
Yeah, that's right, bad intent. Murderous intent. There were some bad intentions out there, and he did have it. Of course, you also have to be able to launch. You can't just have the weapons. You got to be able to launch.
And you have to be able, yes, you have to be able to set it up, and he's doing it in spurts and random spurts too. There's no sort of game plan or setting him up. The jab is still absent.
Bailey tries one to the body, and he lands his right at the belt. Good double jab there by Jones, and now that's good work.
First good combination we've seen from Mike Jones.
Yeah, you'd almost want to see Jones go back to, hey, think like an amateur now. Go back to your amateur days and just go out and jab. Jab this guy. You're in the ring a lot at the Wild Card Gym, right? Sometimes I'll say, go in and jab.
Especially with a banger. You want to set him up with jab. You want to keep his timing off. You want to keep him off of his rhythm. Keep him back on his heels, because what you don't want to do is what he's doing, letting him get his timing, letting him come forward and start winning away. I'm not really understanding his certain game plan. He'll have little spurts of action, but they haven't really been too effective.
And it's almost like when you're watching a Bernard Hopkins fight. Again, Randall Bailey, look, he's nowhere near Hopkins. He's only 37. He's a spring chicken compared to Bernard Hopkins. But Hopkins became a master at conserving the energy. You don't want to fight. If you're Mike Jones, you don't want this fight. There's good body work there by Jones. You don't want this fight being fought in second gear. Good right hand by Bailey that time. I think the glove probably blocked a good part of that. You could hear the thudding shot.
That was a beautiful counter right shot, which has hurt many opponents, and maybe that's what's keeping Mike Jones so reluctant, is that right hand. But he is a champion. He is undefeated. He's got to have a little more faith in himself to let his hands go.
One thing he can't do, he can't go straight back. He also there, when he went along the ropes there just for a second, Mario, he was laying on the right. The very worst thing you can do with a guy who can nail you with a big right hand. You sit there and you think you're safe. You're not safe.
In one of the spurts, Mike Jones did some nice body work, but not doing anything to set it up. Still abandoning the jab. I'd love to see him go back to that. Bailey doing a nice job with the jab.
You know what? I was just about to say that, Mario, while we're talking about what Mike Jones is not doing, because he is so good. Look, he's not 26-0 from nothing. Let's give credit to Randall Bailey, who's done everything right so far. He's 37, past his prime. We thought he was done. He's worked his way back up against some B-level competition to get this title shot, and now he comes in here, and he's had a marvelous first 3 rounds against world-class opposition.
You're exactly right. He is executing his game plan perfectly, I think, so far.
Deep breath. Deep breath. Stay low up top. Use your face. I need you to let him get the head. Let him get the head. Deep breath.
All you want to run and pick. You gotta be the smarter fighter. You gotta walk him down behind that jab and get close and go to the body. Break this guy down.
Nice body work right here by Mike Jones. He needs to be doing a little bit more of it. We're gonna see a nice counter right hand. Boom, there it is. Caught him flush on the chin. Randall Bailey really doing an excellent job. And you know what? Most importantly, he's keeping the fight at his pace. He's not exerting a lot of energy. He's keeping it at his pace. And if they continue like this, Brian, we may see an upset.
No question. Round 4 here at the MGM Grand. I heard a lot of leather land on that shot, but I wondered, I was blocked by him. I didn't know if Jones had blocked that shot with his glove. There's a good right hand by Jones, but actually the replay showed he caught that flush.
He caught him flush. He actually took that pretty well, too.
Good whiskers. We could be getting into a nice firefight here very soon. Bailey is the guy with the power. He peers in, but Jones has started to throw some meaningful shots.
And when Jones does throw, he does seem to have his own level of pop and be able to hurt Bailey as well, who's been down quite a few times before.
Now you see Bailey coming in a little more defensively responsible. Look at the way he's tucked in, Mayweather-esque, right?
Yes.
Coming in sideways, got that elbow and shoulder defending his body.
Well, you mentioned Bernard Hopkins earlier, too, and I think it's a very good comparison as far as the way, the pace that he's fighting defensively, sort of playing with that jab, but being smart with it, efficient with his punches.
The one, offensive weapon that Bernard Hopkins, future Hall of Famer, has was that counter right hand.
Yes.
But even he didn't have the type of destructive power, pound for pound at least, that Bailey has.
No, excellent. And Bernard Hopkins, of course, amazing defensively as well. Randall Bailey, still something to be desired in that area. But Mike Jones, I'm just a little confused as to his approach or the game plan in the fight. Because the lunging with the big fight, I've never really seen him fight like this before, and especially just choosing to do it against this type of opponent. Like you said earlier, Brian, a lot of jabs, the higher activity rate, just to out-hustle this guy who's older than him would have been the proper approach. I'm curious what the corner's going to tell him in between rounds.
We're watching Mike Jones take on Randall Bailey for the IBF welterweight belt. And Jones again could be at least seen by many as the heir apparent to the welterweight division, someone who is complete with a good steady foundation. But right now I think what we're seeing is a lack of identity from Jones. I think you led me in that direction, Mario. He really hasn't shown himself to be the boxer or the puncher here.
Lack of identity, I think a lack of confidence. This is a Mike Jones I haven't seen really before. That was a nice combination, but a little off balance, a little sloppy. Randall Bailey has yet to get rattled in this fight.
He caught one there. He caught one there in the middle of the three-punch combination as Bailey backs him up. And that's one thing that they didn't want to have happen. You know, don't let him have that line. There. Jones's corner is back here. They're screaming, we need a hook. We haven't seen that yet. Not much of it anyway. Final seconds, round 4. Randall Bailey wades in. I honestly, as I'm calling this fight, like I've often said, Mario, when you're calling a fight or even in your position as the analyst, you can't score it. But I'm thinking right now, I have no idea how you score that round. I have no inclination either way.
Leading up to that round, I mean, I was starting to favor Bailey, and there was certain moments where the Spurs may have won it, but that was a tough round to call. I agree with you, Brian.
Let's listen into the corners if we can.
You're in tip-top shape. You just need to relax a little more, Mike. Deep breath. Just relax a little.
This is your title, brother. Get the title you deserve. Give me these jabs. Let your hands do. You're way too long for this guy. You're throwing this guy around, and he's just pecking you. Block his punch and go inside and dig. You want this, go get it. You got to get it. He's going to run. He don't give it to you. You fight a top-ranked fighter. They're going to rob you if it's close. You got to get it and be convincing with it.
Wow. I tell you what,
seconds out.
John David Jackson, you heard the end of it there. They're sitting right up above us, ringside here, Brian Kenny with Mario Lopez. John David Jackson telling Randall Bailey, and this is inspirational, this is your title, you deserve it. He was very emotional. And then he said, they're going to rob you if you let it go the distance. Now look, that's what you have to say. I don't expect him to get robbed. But right, he might not be winning these rounds where we're giving him credit because he's the underdog, he's 37.
Right.
I think John David Jackson is exactly on point. This is yours for the taking, but you're going to have to do more than you think.
And I always like trainers who undersell what's going on as opposed to oversell and give them confidence. It's always better to leave them going in there a little hungry. And they're talking about the instruction on the other corner, Mike Jones, they were pleading with him to relax, and that's what I really think he does need to do. Relax, settle down a little bit. But in the first 4 rounds, he hasn't been showing any signs of that.
No, he has been tight. This again is a big moment. We're going to be talking about this later in the night with Timothy Bradley, where, yes, he's been in big fights we call showdowns, but has he been in a mega event? No, he has not. Pacquiao does this every time out, and we're going to see. Is Bradley tight?
And that was a big right hand that I'm not sure partially landed or was landed on the shoulder, considering the angle which we saw. But Mike Jones not doing anything to keep Randall Bailey off of him. As far as the jabs are concerned, utilizing combinations and spurts here and there. That height advantage, that reach advantage, he's not taking advantage of it.
Now Bailey is on the move, moving forward. Something we hear all the time here in Las Vegas. What do the judges like? They like aggression. They like the fighter who is moving forward. Look, we all know when you go into a fight, who's the made guy, who's the opponent. Bailey is the opponent. And yet, I don't know how these rounds are going to be scored. These could be very close.
Well, Bailey looks a lot more relaxed, a lot more composed. He's been letting that right hand fly. And I thought it may have landed, but the last 2 did not land. There's some good body work there.
Good hook. He tripled up on the hook that time, landed to the body and the head. That was hard, painful stuff. That is part of the repertoire we have not seen tonight so far.
We were talking earlier that it's almost not enough just to win, but to look good doing it and be impressive. And Mike Jones has his hands full with just the first part. Tripping on the feet there. Not a knockdown, obviously.
Tony Weeks saw that correctly from the outset. Again, just looked like kind of a shoulder butt to me where he put him down. may have crossed up the feet as well, so no knockdown here. Final 30 seconds of round 5. Scheduled for 12, and this will be interesting. Again, this is for one of the welterweight title belts. One man is going to be in a good position, in a leveraged position to negotiate, to look for other big fights, and to win a world title belt in his own right. Is it for the taking for Randall Bailey? So far, an outstanding performance by the 37-year-old.
Yes, doing an excellent job. Jones is a little busier, but was it busy enough? I don't know, to win the round.
We'll try to listen in again because I really like what we've heard so far in both corners. We'll try to listen in.
How you feel? You ready to be a world champion? Then go take it from him. Stay mobile up top. When you get tied up, work that inside.
He's a busy fighter. It's your time, son. This is your time. You got to get it. You got to want it. You got to go.
Here are the hooks. This was impressive, Mario.
Yeah, beautiful combination by Mike Jones when he decides to let him go. Here's a look at it. And there was a tripping of the feet right there. I think it's coming up right here.
Seconds out.
Well, we didn't get to see it, but there was definitely a tripping of the feet. It wasn't caused by a blow.
And the tripling up of the hooks by Mike Jones, that was the best part of that round. And again, that might win a round for you. You heard in the corner, Vaughn Jackson now getting emotional with Mike Jones and saying, are you ready to be a world champion? Again, I will say, all right, this is for one of the belts at welterweight. Good shot there by Bailey, good hook. This means this is a world championship to these fighters.
Yes, and that was the most productive I've seen from Mike Jones was that last round, where the halfway point, maybe he now starts to turn the tide and up his activity level a little bit.
Good jab to the body by Mike Jones. Jones in black, Bailey in the red trunks. Bailey just joining us. One of the better punchers pound for pound in the entire sport. Has a vicious, lethal right hand as he fires in a hook. But he is 37, he's past his prime. Mike Jones was expected by most here tonight to take a welterweight belt home and become a real player in this division. Good jab by Bailey.
Bailey's been throwing some nice stiff jabs when they land, and he's been more effective with the jab, and you would assume Mike Jones, which is usually his expertise, has not been that as effective with it.
That was a stick, you know? That was like, you know, I'll just throw out what I think of when I see a stick like that. Pernell Whitaker, who would walk you right into it, and you almost walk into that jab, and he uses body, you know, as leverage behind it. It was just like a pole you walk into.
Larry Holmes type jab.
Well, just, again, we're talking about Randall Bailey, where that is not normal part of the arsenal. We don't go and say, no, we're going to see a jabbing fest here. No, that's not his thing.
But he's been doing a good job to keep him at a distance, to try to set up that right hand. He himself, I think, should be a little bit more active as well, but Mike Jones, really, I thought, should take initiative. And that might, is there a little blood coming from the nose of Jones, perhaps, from the result of that stiff jab?
Haven't seen yet. See as he circles around the other way. Seen so far ineffective aggression this round by Jones as he steps in again, kind of a lead right hand. But there is kind of an awkward sense of him coming in. He cannot, you know, reestablish that once he throws his last punch.
He's not jabbing his way in with head movement, touching the body. He's sort of leaping in with these odd combinations, sometimes landing, sometimes not. Doesn't really seem to be an effective game plan.
Final minute of round 6, and again, I thought as early as round 2, start scoring this fight. Start thinking of who you think is winning these rounds. For everybody at home that, you know, might just like boxing and not love it, if you want to really have a feel for the fight, you need to score rounds. Don't at the end say, I think this guy won. Well, how did you score it? I tell that to fans all the time. How did you score it? Oh, well, I didn't score it. Well, then you don't know. You need to score it. And this is a fight right now. Again, I'm not scoring it. I don't know. I think these rounds are very close.
You're exactly right. I agree with you 100%. This is one of the, and then the way the judges can look at it. Do you like the aggressor? Do you like the flurries by Jones? Do you like the harder, crisper punches by Randall Bailey?
So hold that there.
That was a nice right hand that landed by Bailey.
I kind of like the work there by Bailey, but I just don't know. Again, these are going to be tough rounds to score, I believe, and this is with a world championship on the line. The house is starting to fill up. We are still one fight away after this one before Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley. I feel badly for those who are late arrivals. You should not be missing this. You shouldn't have missed Guillermo Rigondeaux either.
He's still
excellent fight that Top
coming
Rank has put together on this card.
End of the round here.
Take a look at this hard right hand. Oh, that landed.
Tell you what, Jones has a good chin.
Yeah, he's been taking those shots pretty well.
Now he's 147, and look, every time you move up a weight class, guys will eat your shots a little bit better. Oscar De La Hoya was just knocking guys down flat on their back at 135 pounds. Up to 147, it wasn't the same thing. Bailey is normally a junior welterweight. That's where he's hurt people. He's up here against a full-size welterweight, 5'11" Mike Jones.
Yes, complete full size. So, with that said, and the fact that he's faced with a couple of those right hands, I'd like to see him be able to settle on his punches a little bit more.
You know what he hasn't done as we get into round 7 here. Brian Kenny, Mario Lopez here. We hope you're enjoying the fights from Las Vegas. He has not been in the pocket.
He's not. That was an excellent point. And I was just going to say that because the one thing about Bailey too, he's a 1-2 puncher, meaning just a one-punch combination. And Mike Jones throws crisp, fluid combinations. And if he was in the pocket, working the body a little bit more, I think it would go well for him.
What we mean by that, when you get in the pocket, sit down on your punches, be balanced, and when you throw the 2-3 punches in a row, you can immediately move your head and fire 3 more. Jones is never in that position. His feet are never in that position to refire a combination.
They're not, and he's fast enough to pull it off if he were to execute that sort of game plan.
Stop. We are seeing meaningful shots being thrown, so at any moment, this fight can change. It will, if it does go to the scorecards, the judges are Jack Reese from California, Ricardo Ocasio, and Dave Moretti, veteran judge here in Las Vegas. People are starting to boo, and I don't know what they want, really. I have to say that I'm disappointed in that. I think if you're an educated fight fan, this is an interesting fight.
It is an interesting fight. I think they got spoiled by some of the undercard fights. Even before Rigondeaux, we had a couple knockouts. There's been a lot of fireworks so far.
I think the potential is there in this fight for it. But I think, who knows, maybe they are educated fight fans and they know they're looking at the knockout king. And they're going to see Bailey drill this guy. Well, we didn't go into this fight expecting that. We expected Mike Jones to become a world titleist.
You're going to take the bold step of tattooing your arm with KO King, and you got to let that right hand go.
Excellent point. Good body shot there by Bailey.
Bailey again throwing 1-2 punches at a time at the most.
Stop. And Jones is walking in without jabbing, awkwardly trying to get some movement. Good jab there. Nice little combination. Not much landing past the gloves, but good work.
Yes, Jones a little busier this round.
Yeah. You get the feeling, too, again, from a judging standpoint, if Jones is moving forward and doing the work, his work rate is there, he could easily get this decision. You know, I think John David Jackson is rightly worried about not getting a decision here, but not because of anything squirrely or corrupt, just because of the way the fight could unfold.
You're exactly right. And, you know, as effective those right hands have been when he does decide to throw them, he's throwing them few and far between. Bailey would need to really up his activity level if he wants to win by decision. I don't think those are his intentions, though. He's plotting to try to knock this kid out.
You can see Randall Bailey, again, the flame is on a low burn right now. He is not going to expend more energy than he has to, but he's waiting for something where he can unload a right hand.
He's telling him he is 7 rounds down. He needs to do something drastic.
Look, I think that's the right mentality. Right. I don't believe that, and maybe John David Jackson doesn't believe that either. But that's the right mentality, knowing that, look, you need to put this guy down. And then if he does, let's say he puts him down or wobbles Jones, then I think even judges will view the fight differently.
You're exactly right, because then all of a sudden the game plan looks like it came together and he executed it and it makes sense. So yeah, perception is a lot, especially if you can hurt your opponent, because that's what this game is all about. Ultimately, the objective is to hurt your opponent.
And there, with 3 straight jabs, you can see Bailey had no offense to come back with. The jab alone and a nice sharp jab off the face.
And that's the glimpse, and that's what I've been talking about all night, which has been absent. When he does decide to throw his jabs, he was effective and he landed it. It's just few and far between.
When Bailey is on defense, he can't be on offense. And that's what you need. And he threw 3 out there. Look, 2 were pawing little jabs, but at the same time, Bailey is bothered by it.
Yeah, he kept him at bay, and now it's no longer. It's the lulls in between. And you allow him to set up to time that right hand.
Wild hook over the top after Jones threw an uppercut. Maybe Jones is relaxing a little bit already. I've seen an uppercut on the inside that I hadn't seen. That wild hook and the triple jab. Maybe he's relaxing a little bit as we get into round 8. Good jab by Bailey as he tries to work in. Again, that's just a stick. It comes out with no effort. and Jones has trouble detecting it because he doesn't wind up on it, doesn't load up.
It's stiff, it's hard.
Comes right out.
Doesn't double up, but when he lands it, it's pretty effective.
I think at a certain point, too, and then if Bailey tried the right hand, you're going to have to see Bailey also put his foot on the accelerator. Good jab by Jones again, landing.
This is the best round that I've seen so far from Mike Jones. Effective with the jab.
Bailey returns fire straight up the middle.
Bailey throws his right hand. He reminds me of Vince Phillips, the way he used to throw it.
Cool Vince.
Cool Vince, who had a great right hand. Sort of shoots it out, comes out like a laser.
Another good jab by Jones. And then we've seen another jab. We've seen more jabs landing to the head of Bailey in this round as Jones now is starting to pound away than we've seen in all the other rounds put together.
You're right, but maybe now he's gotten to his groove. Maybe now he's recognized, okay, I can hit this guy. Look at how effective.
Another jab after he doubled up on the jab. Very different fight now.
And I believe he could have been this effective from the beginning because it's not like Bailey is very mobile with his header. He's got a lot of head movement. It's registered with Mike Jones now.
Turning point in this fight, round 8. Mike Jones, work rate alone, landing with the jab, landing another jab, now goes to the body. Look, I don't have any trouble scoring this round.
Exactly.
Neither will the judges. Another stiff jab, doubling up on the jab. A little swelling now on the face of Randall Bailey. Randall Bailey answering back with a hook as we enter round 9. Round 8, all Mike Jones, as we saw a completely different fighter.
Now, Mike Jones really impressed me the last round, and that's exactly what I thought we were going to be seeing from him. And he started again with the stiff jab. Bailey answering it, but Mike Jones sticks to what worked in that last round. He could make it a very productive, easier night for him.
And at a certain point, you have to start thinking of the rounds. How are they building up? How many do you have in the bank? I don't know how many Randall Bailey did put in the bank early on, even though he was much more effective than we thought he would be. You can see Bailey is on the wane slightly. That energy level is going down. Jones can beat him down if he keeps up this work rate. Another good jab. Doubling up on the jab, too.
Being very effective. And you're right, Bailey is 37 years old, and Mike Jones, much younger guy. Those legs are going to be a lot more fresh.
Hands free, hands free. Hands free,
And Jones has been moving a lot. He's been moving around a lot, been very, very active.
Looks like he could do it all day, though, doesn't he? I mean, even though he was a little uptight early, that burns a lot of energy. But he has the look of a guy who has been in the Philadelphia gym for a decade, and a guy who can do this all day long.
Yeah, phenomenal shape. And I think he's definitely gotten more into his groove. Still showing him a lot of respect and being more effective with the jab.
Early on, you said it. He was in there with Vaughn Jackson. The most important thing Vaughn Jackson said, right? The most elemental thing in the ring. Relax. Good jab there by Bailey. He's got to relax. When you relax, your shoulders drop. You can fire off 2-3 jabs easily. When you're uptight, nothing is working. You'll hear a guy in the dressing room after the fight. How many times have you seen it, Mario? He said, I just couldn't get off. I couldn't get off. Yeah, you were overwhelmed by the moment. It happens.
Overwhelmed by the moment, and then sometimes it consumes you so much, you totally get off your game plan, and you start doing sloppy, stupid mistakes, and you're not yourself. That's a nice right hand by Mike Jones.
Oh, he wobbled him. Good right hand by Jones, and Bailey is hurt. Now Bailey back in the corner. Good body work by Jones. Goes immediately to the body shots. Now he backs away.
Nice work by Jones. Wish he would have kept him in the corner. I think he actually had Bailey hurt a little bit.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, look, we can see it and smell it. Look, Bailey is hunched over now. Those body shots really hurt.
He's been doing a good job of the combinations body punching when he does have him hurt, but then he lets him off the hook.
I'm very perplexed. He literally backed away from a man who was trapped in his own corner and damaged. And doing the little shuffle step just made it look like, oh, I found out that round in the bank. No. Don't put the round in the bank. Put the man away.
Exactly. Mike Jones, good jab this round. And I believe that he's learning a lot from this fight tonight, though, too. He's learning. This is one of those fights that Bailey's like a gatekeeper. You got to get through to get to the next level.
Right. You're absolutely right. Through round 9, good work by Jones.
Yeah, anything left in you, man, you better let it go. You better let it go, man. You gonna kick yourself in the ass?
Listen, kid, when he's coming at you.
So when you double jab, you throw your right hand, hard jab, right hand, hard jab. He pulling straight back. okay? He think you're going to stop, but don't stop. When he pulls straight back, you throw those straight punches right where he at.
You got to show it. All right? Listen, you got to show it. 3 rounds left. You got to get dirty mean. Look at me. Left in you. Anything left in you. Come on, man. You want this? You want to stop it or you want to go? You want me to stop this? Now let's go. We got to get it. Everything. You got 2-3 rounds. If you want to be crown champion, you got 3 rounds. You got to put it away. You got to put them away. You understand? You follow me? Let's do this.
Cutman switching places with John David Jackson. A pep talk was needed.
Wow.
And I totally agree with him. He got me fired up. He's got to put this guy away is what he's telling him. He's got to get mean and got to get nasty. And I thought that should have been Randall Bailey's just his approach from the outset to make it a bit of a dogfight. Because he's not as fast, doesn't throw as many punches, but he does bring the power.
Round 10 scheduled for 12. The last 2 rounds have been terrific for Mike Jones. Bailey getting beat down a little bit. He was hurt in that last round. Jones inexplicably danced away from him and let him out of the corner. But you could see even John David Jackson, his first second, his chief second, did pop his head in through the ropes. And it got to the point, like, you know, saw a defeated Randall Bailey in front of him and said, do you want me to stop it? Now, no one in that corner wanted it to be stopped. But he had to put it that way to say, if you want this fight, this is it, right now. See the record of the fighters when they go past 10 rounds. Bailey 2-5. He gets into deep water. He doesn't do too well. That's against the top level of competition. These are the championship rounds now.
Yeah, and maybe that's a conditioning thing. Maybe that's a heart thing. Whatever it is, it's not a good stat for Randall Bailey. And Mike Jones should use this opportunity to really not leave any controversy and try to close it out in a big way. And he's been very effective with those body punches and the combinations and with the jab, which has appeared about halfway through the fight.
3 quarters. Came round 8.
Actually, about 3
round
quarters,
8.
you're right.
Round 8. We could go back and look. He tripled up on the jab, and it didn't look like much. But then after that, doubling up on the jab, landing constantly. And now Bailey just looks beaten down.
Yeah.
They might look back at the Bailey camp and say, wow, we had it. We had our opportunity. And we didn't, as you mentioned, didn't put the foot on the accelerator when it was there.
And a mouse building up on Bailey's left eye as a result of those jabs and those quick combinations. Randall Bailey now just throwing 1-2 punches, looking a little tired.
Takes a body shot as well. Jones throwing a vicious hook there. He's winding up now, trying to do it with 1 shot. He needs to look. I hate to play trainer here. He needs a jab, right? I mean, look, we're not. This is not a mystery.
No, you're exactly right. He needs a jab and work his way in, because when he's been able to do that, he's been able to work the body and hurt him, much like he did in the corner over here.
Now we're starting to see a guy, this is what I meant by in the pocket. When he's landing a jab, throwing a double jab, and then spinning off to his right, now he's in control. And now that's what you see.
Beautiful combination.
The damage, and now Bailey's head snaps back a bit, and he's hurt. It's an accumulation of punishment here by Jones, and Bailey is just getting beaten down.
Talking about anytime power can put a guy down, Randall Bailey catching Mike Jones right on the button with the right hand, and that's what he needed to do, and he needs to throw that hand over and over again.
Out of nowhere, the bazooka. Locked and loaded, and he drops Mike Jones just as Jones looks like he is taking over for good.
Exactly. Just as he looked like he was coming over the edge and about to put him away, and the nose of Mike Jones is bloated.
Wow. All right, they're not going to boo that. No. Look at this.
Here's a replay. Big right hand, and it was like a cutting down a tree, and he throws it so straight, right down the pike. Here it is. Boom. Right on the button.
It is a beautiful thing when Randall Bailey throws that smooth right hand with such force.
And that's why, and this is in round 10, and that's why he was so reluctant to engage. But I still believe, had he started out with the jab and taken a little off that, maybe that would not have had as much effect on him.
Now we're in business. Final 2 rounds. A knockdown in round 10 from Randall Bailey, just as his spirit was starting to ebb. He was going into a wane. He was asked by his trainer, John David Jackson, do you want to continue? Then you got to get after it. And they're late in the round, and what was a good round for Mike Jones, he unloads one of the best weapons in boxing.
And the irony is he wasn't even busy in that round. He was actually really getting bit, and it came out of nowhere.
Long and strong. Brian Kenny, Mario Lopez here in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. We're just warming up. But now this fight, which was an interesting fight, has become a scintillating fight. Let's see what Jones has now, responding, climbing off the deck. I like the way he responded, though.
He did.
He went flat on his back, Mario.
I mean, that was not, there was no tripping, there was no controversy. That was a brutal knockdown. And Randall Bailey needs to continue to throw that right hand straight to the body, to the chest. Continue it to the chin.
And tried it there. He is trying to load up with a right hand. You wonder, too, there's a 2-point round for Randall Bailey. How many of those early rounds were put in the bank by Bailey? Could we have a close decision here? Could he pull it out if he knocks him down one more time? That's possible.
You're right, because it's very interesting, because Jones was just, the momentum had shifted. He's gathering steam, and down he went.
11th round, IBF welterweight title at stake. It's vacant right now. Mike Jones was figured he would come in here in a beautiful combination by Jones, went body and then head.
And that combination's been working effectively for him. Couple hooks to the body, followed by the head, and he gets out of the way.
And if you're Jones, that is the exact spot that he is in right now, where he got caught with the right hand. Do not back straight up. Do not think you are safe. You are not safe. Randall Bailey just proved that to you.
You cannot relax.
Oh, stiff jab. Oh, that's a gorgeous jab by Mike Jones as he starts to try to get back into a rhythm.
And that's Mike Jones' best defense right now, is the jab. He needs to keep him busy, keep him off his rhythm, don't let him set his feet. Feints, not a lot of feints from these guys.
And they were asking for that from Jones earlier in the fight. Vaughn Jackson wanted to see more feints, more jabs. He hasn't gotten a lot of that. He saw an escalation of work in round 8, where he was tremendous. Round 9, very good. Round 10, he looked fine, and then got dropped with one single right hand from the knockout king, Randall Bailey.
Mike Jones, welcome to the big leagues. And he is out, Brian. He is not going to come up from that. Oh my gosh.
Tony Wade says a count. He wiggles around. Jones is trying to get out.
He is out. And that is an upset of major proportions.
Randall Bailey has taken this fight. He's taken it back, and he has knocked out Mike Jones. Major upset by the 37-year-old knockout king.
Brian, that right hand with the uppercut may have broke his nose. He was in serious, serious damage. He plotted the whole night. He was calm, he was calculated, and he was effective with one-punch knockout power, and the KO King is the KO King tonight.
Wow. He dropped down, Jones bent down, kind of like Michael Spinks did, and ran into an uppercut from Mike Tyson.
I mean, that uppercut had such force in it. And in the 11th round, Brian, that to have the power after taking such hard combinations from Jones, who seemed to have turned the corner, that is an impressive performance. We have seen 2 impressive knockouts on this card tonight.
Whoa, sensational. Look at the blood coming out of Mike Jones's nose. He right now is just stunned, trying to figure out what just happened. He thought he had regained his senses, and then he bent down for one shot. I thought it actually went to the body shot, but he actually came down and then hit him straight to the head.
Uppercut from Randall Bailey as he split the jab, came up. There he is, splitting the jab, coming up with a hard uppercut right on the chin, which of course he said, and he looks like he got hit with the bat. And I'm surprised he rose as quick as he did.
He tried 3 separate times, Mario, to get up, and each time his head, it had disconnected from his body. The black lights were on.
Here's another look, that beautiful uppercut from Randall Bailey. And that's a perfect example that looks incredibly deceiving. Randall Bailey's not exactly a really buff, a muscular guy, if you will, just a heavy-handed, strong, explosive puncher. That's a perfect example of an explosive puncher.
Look at Randall Bailey, how emotional he is. He cannot believe he's in this position now. It looked like it was not going to be his night. By round 9, it completely looked like this is not your night. The young guy, Mike Jones, is about to take over on you.
Well, we were talking a little off camera, and we were talking about how boxing, the beautiful thing about it is how the drama of it allows for ebbs and flows. And he started off so strong, and he was fighting his fight and executing his game plan. And Mike Jones came back and bam, changed just like
of
that.
Las Vegas, the end comes at 2-5-2 of round number 11. The winner by knockout victory, and now the new IBF Heavyweight Champion of the World, Randall, the Knockout King, Bailey.
Bailey can barely put his hands up above his head because he is crying so hard right now, weeping with joy at becoming a world titleist.
Overwhelmed with emotion. I got to tell you, I am so happy for him because this is a guy who's paid his dues.
Okay, gentlemen. Trunks are okay here. Trunks are okay here. Now, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution you to keep the fight clean at all times. Protect yourself at all times. And what I say, you must obey. Good luck. Touch up.
All right. Let me tell you right now, you can unplug your television sets because the electricity in this building will keep them running.
Kenny Bayless, the referee, young, athletic, takes control of the ring. I think you probably need a good, young, mobile referee in there tonight with these two.
Manny Pacquiao, the pound-for-pound champion. The Pac-Man against Ricky, the Hitman Hatton. The junior welterweight championship of the world and the title of best pound-for-pound fighter going. Live from Las Vegas, here we go.
Here we go, gentlemen.
Both on their toes. Both with a lot of fire.
Hatton coming very fast at Pacquiao. He seems intent in a lot of his pre-fight comments to show that he can also box tonight. But I think he's got to be the Ricky Hatton who comes forward and blasts away.
Well, that was a big blast from Manny Pacquiao with a right hook right to Ricky Hatton's forehead.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how both these fighters come out. Trying to set the pace. Hatton talking about trying to be a different fighter. This is second fight under Floyd Mayweather Sr. and already a couple of shots to the body as he ties up Pacquiao and fights in close.
And he's caught him, Kurt, a couple times with that right hook coming in. I'll tell you who's going to be key in this fight is the referee. He's going to allow him to play into that style, to work into that midsection.
Pacquiao taking the shots to the body from Hatton, and this is turning into a brawl, which is exactly the kind of fight Ricky Hatton would want.
Well, he's going to try to not let Pacquiao have a moment to relax. Pacquiao could basically sit back and pick apart Oscar De La Hoya because Oscar wasn't punching back. Well, Ricky Hatton is going to punch back, and he is going to punch first tonight. So it'll be a different kettle of fish for Manny Pacquiao.
Rich, you're exactly right. And then not only that, there's lots of head movements, there's lots of feet movement, and the speed of Pacquiao hurt.
He caught Hatton leaning in
with a big right hook, which he's going to have success with tonight if Hatton doesn't keep his hands up.
And Hatton trying to hang on right now.
Hatton cannot be too careless. Just check with Juan Manuel Marquez about what can happen in the first round against Manny Pacquiao.
Well, this will be an interesting fight because neither one of these guys, as Pacquiao lands another right hand, was really challenged in his last fight.
Oh, Kurt,
Pacquiao with the combinations. Oh, Hatton down here in the first round. Manny Pacquiao comes out 2 minutes into the opening round, and he's already knocked down Hatton.
Kurt, the right hook was finding a home all the first round, and it ended up dropping the hitman who hit the floor.
Some extra seconds there for Hatton to recover, but he's in deep trouble with about a half a minute to go.
And Ricky Hatton has struggled against southpaws previously and seems to be in a battle already as Pacquiao is just bringing it to him.
Freddie Roach predicted the third round. He said it as a joke to annoy Mayweather. He might have been a little too conservative.
And Hatton's in trouble again.
Final 10 seconds of round one, and Hatton's down for the second time here in this opening round.
If he beats the count, he'll get the 60 seconds rest. And he needs it.
You cannot be saved by the bell, remember that.
Unbelievable first round by Manny Pacquiao.
What an impressive first round by Pacquiao.
These were clean, perfect shots landed by Pacquiao. Look at that! What an incredible shot! Oh, it doesn't get any better than that.
Ricky Hatton had never been knocked down at 140 pounds. He's been knocked down twice already in this opening round by Pacquiao. And we talked about his struggles against left-handers. You have to wonder, is he not able to see that right hook coming because of the weird angle?
Being at the gym and seeing Freddie work, they worked on that punch time and time and time again. And boy, did it pay off.
Hatton is still trying to shake out his legs. Look at him with his legs. He's still feeling the effects of that knockdowns. What a spectacular first round. Hatton just went through the same thing Juan Manuel Marquez did.
Pacquiao out to prove to the world that his victory over Oscar De La Hoya, no fluke.
Hatton knocked Pacquiao off balance with that shot, but Hatton is still rocky.
You know what's amazing too, Rich, is that all the damage was done with the right hand. There was a time when Pacquiao couldn't even touch it with the right hand, and now he's knocking guys out, or down, I should say, with the right hand.
That's really come the last year or two as he gets rocked that time by Hatton.
Well, with every succeeding year, he's become a more complete fighter. Now, let's not just completely write off Ricky Hatton yet, because remember the Marquez fight. After the spectacular first round of the Marquez fight, for Pacquiao, Marquez dominated the rest of the bout.
And you brought up a very good point, Rich, because a lot of guys think he can't be that fast. He doesn't hit that hard until you're in there and you feel the power, and wow, it is a wake-up call.
And I know the great boxing announcer Jim Lampley has said many times about Ricky Hatton, no fighter fights a full 3 minutes of every round like Hatton does, but Pacquiao, not phased at all, connects with a couple left hands again.
Kurt, Ricky Hatton's style seems to play in perfectly into the hands of Manny Pacquiao, the new Manny Pacquiao.
Now Ricky he needs to get through this second round and get himself together. He's got no rhythm at all right now. Anything he may have learned under Floyd Mayweather is completely out the window right now.
And that was what his trainer, Manny Pacquiao's trainer, Freddie Roach, said. You can talk about a new Ricky Hatton and a different style, but once he gets hit, he's going to revert to what he's always been as he takes another left hand to the head.
And there's no defense for a chin. Your chin is what it is, and when you're taking hard shots from Manny Pacquiao.
Well, Hatton got one in there.
But Pacquiao answers back.
But he's getting outscored 5-1, Hatton.
The counter punching.
And here he comes again, Pacquiao. The combination's doing damage on Hatton. And Ricky Hatton right now seems to be in survival mode as we get to the final 30 seconds of this second round. Needs to get to his corner just to catch his breath. The movement of Pacquiao keeping Hatton in trouble.
Manny Pacquiao never fails to surprise me with what he brings to the table. It's always a little better than I thought.
Oh, Hatton down again.
And that
he might be out this time. That's it. Ricky Hatton is done. Knocked out in the second round by Manny Pacquiao. Is there any question that he is the best fighter in the world right now?
He just cemented his legend.
Not only is he the best fighter in the world,
he's the most exciting fighter.
This is an all-time great. You understand that you're looking, as we look at Ricky Hatton here, but Manny Pacquiao is an all-time great.
You're exactly right. He's now surpassed that, Rich, and he's now cemented his legacy to call himself a legend, and, mind you, a legend in his prime.
Ricky Hatton totally out of it, and we can only hope and pray that he's going to be all right.
A And you can see the concern right now as they try and bring Hatton back, but taking care of him. And that was a big left-hand punch, and Pacquiao dominated this fight from start to a quick finish. 2 knockdowns in the first round and a knockout here midway through the second. What a night for Manny Pacquiao.
Freddie Roach was off by a round the good way.
Well, he said he would be disappointed if it went 3. He doesn't have to worry.
It didn't even go 2. And it was just a perfect punch. Hatton dropped his right hand, and Pacquiao came right over the lowered left hand. Watch Hatton's left hand go down, and Pacquiao comes right over it.
Right on the button.
The knockout spot. One of the most spectacular, sensational knockouts. And of course, our thoughts are with Ricky Hatton. We don't want to go too nuts in our commentary here because Ricky, I don't believe, has gotten up yet. But it was there's no more you can ask of Manny Pacquiao.
Well, we didn't really get a chance to get into it. The fight ended so quickly, but the big thing about fighting Pacquiao that so many fighters talk about is his angles and how difficult it is to see where some of those punches are coming from. And early on in that first round, it was the right hooks that seemed to surprise Hatton, knocked him down twice, and this time it was a big looping left.
How does he do it? This is the 6th weight division. There's Ricky Hatton's fiancée, who's obviously shaken by what has happened here. But how does Manny Pacquiao do it? 6 weight divisions. How can a guy who was the flyweight champion of the world knock out Ricky Hatton, knock out Oscar De La Hoya? It's impossible. This is a force of nature, Manny Pacquiao, that is so unusual that he has to be labeled among the very greatest fighters who have ever stepped in a ring in any weight division.
We did have a good shot there. You can see Ricky Hatton seems to have composed himself and is up right now. But the focus on Manny Pacquiao, only the second 6th division champion ever joining Oscar De La Hoya. Here's Michael Buffett.
Round number 2. The winner by TKO victory. And now, the new IBO and Ring Magazine light welterweight champion of the world, and still, pound for pound, the best in the world, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
You are looking at greatness.
All right, so with the introductions, the referee, Richard Steele, calls the 2 combatants to the center of the ring. There's the tail of the tape. You see the differences there. 6 years in age, 2 pounds in weight, and about 4.5 inches in height, favoring Henry Tillman. Tillman will be dressed, as you see, across the way in the white, and here in the black trunks, solid black, is Michael Tyson, the former heavyweight champion of the world. Most think that Tyson, being the prohibitive favorite, will come out real fast, but Tyson has been a very determined fighter in part of his career, and he does look like he's on the assault early to me. Mike has something that he wants to show here. It's exactly what I expected from him. They said he wasn't aggressive enough against Buster Douglas. He's aggressive right now. He's just powering and pushing Henry Tillman around right now. He wants to go for a knockout early. He wants to punish this guy for what Buster Douglas did to him. He looks like a madman on his face. Mike Tyson is not going to have Henry Tillman around here very long. Although Tillman got a left hand through, didn't bother Tyson at all. Tyson is a determined young man tonight. As he comes back, misses the left hook. He's very aggressive. He's not using that jab that we heard so much about in his training. He kind of flicks it in there a couple of times, and Tillman ties him up. Now, you remember against Bone Crusher Smith that they just tied him up constantly all the time. But Mike Tyson tries to punish Tillman to the body. We're in round 1. Just underway here in round 1. Bob Sheridan on the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network. And Tyson has come out here to really fight very, very aggressively. Again, we want to welcome all of our audience around the world, especially those on TV3 in Auckland, New Zealand, Chris Myrons and Clint Brown, who are joining most of our telecasts that involve Mike Tyson, the next few anyway. And we're glad that people down under can be with us all over New Zealand and Australia. Welcome to TV3. Wow with the right hand. The left hook catches Tillman. Midway through round number 1, and Tyson isn't finished yet with this guy. Tyson is not fooling around one bit with this guy, not giving him any breathing room at all. Tillman is trying to stay on the move and does the proper thing if you're fighting Mike Tyson, and that's tie him up inside. Now Mike is staying out where his punching has so much power. Watch for his left hook and his uppercut when he gets inside, and Mike will hit you anytime. He'll hit you coming in, he'll hit you on the break, he'll hit you with a looping right hand, he'll hit you with a left hook. He's got Tillman shell-shocked already, and the thing hasn't even really got going. Mike really tees off when he gets inside on it. This is the Mike Tyson that we saw so effective, knocking out 33 of his opponents. Tillman has a look of fear in his eyes as Mike Tyson just goes headhunting. Richard Steele, the third man in the ring, has got his work cut out with Mike Tyson. Oh, the right hand! I doubt if he'll be able to get up from this. He hit him flush on the jaw with the right hand. It's up to 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. It's all over. Tyson, a first round knockout. Mike runs across the ring and tries to help his friend Henry Tillman up. There's pandemonium in the ring as Tillman tries to get to his feet. He caught him flush with a right hand that knocked him out cold. And Mike came running across the ring and almost looked like he was mad at something, but we saw immediately that Mike Tyson wanted to help his wounded friend. So that answers the questions of what Mike Tyson will do when he comes back. It came at 2:47 of the first round. It was a big right hand, a very, very aggressive Mike Tyson. Wow, what a right hand. By the way, James Buster Douglas is in the audience here, and you have to wonder what he's thinking. I think he's thinking he's glad he has to fight Evander Holyfield before he faces this guy again. Watch this now. Tyson moves in for the kill. Here it is. He's got everything going, and he catches him right at the height of his punch on the top of the left temporal bone, which rattled the brain around inside that skull, and down he went. There was no getting up from there. Watch it from a different angle. The right hand. Watch Tyson's right hand. He winds up. Bang! He nails him. It's all over. He crumbles to the canvas like a sack of wheat, stretches out the legs, and he's not getting up. Very, very heavy punch. Watch again. Just watch that right hand. Watch how Mike winds up. Oh, he's got everything going with it. Everything was into that. The whole shoulder, the twisted trunk, the body, and the arm. Watch it again from the top side here now. Watch how he gets his whole body into the punch. He's got everything going. Oh, what a shot. You don't get up from a shot like that. That's not a grazing blow, not a glancing blow. There's the eyes, straight out, and that tells the whole story. Don King announced yesterday they're not calling him Iron Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's listen to the time.
The time, 2 minutes, 47 seconds of the first round. The winner by a knockout, Iron Mike Tyson.
Carlos Padilla calls the fighters to the center of the ring. You see the tail of the tape there. George has a big, I suppose you call it disadvantage in age. He's 9 years old. And let's listen to Carlos Padilla as you look at the tail of the tape. The age, the 2 inches in height, and of course the big weight difference there. George also has a big reach advantage. All right, we're set to go. This fight is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The 10-point must-scoring system is in effect. The winner gets the 10 points, the loser 9 or less. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect in the state of Nevada. A fighter must get up following a low blow or he may be counted out. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell. There's a mandatory 8-count following knockdown. Scoring is based on clean hits, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense. We're underway. Big George Foreman in the blue trunks with the red and white trim. Edilson Rodriguez from Sao Paulo, Brazil. He is probably the biggest hero in Brazil since Pele, the soccer star down there. Big George with that jab. Look at those big, strong biceps of George Foreman. This telecast of the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network going all over the world. And a special hello to Chris Myrams and Clint Brown, TV3 in Auckland, New Zealand, who are joining us for all of our fights involving Mike Tyson coming up. And we're real proud that television down in New Zealand has taken such an interest in boxing. And great to have Chris and Clint Brown along with us in this telecast, and all our friends across Australia and, of course, New Zealand. Round one, both fighters kind of feeling each other out. Big George covers himself up and lets Edelson Rodriguez pound to the body. You got to figure that Angelo Dundee has told Edelson to jab and stay away from Big George. George hasn't thrown a big hand yet in the fight. George's straight left hand, he's so strong that his straight left hand is not a jab, it's a real heavy punch. It always was in his career, especially in the early side. And he sets up the big right hand off of that straight left hand. You see George trying to get it through, and Rodriguez doing a nice job of staying away from him right now. George, a prohibitive favorite in the fight. In this betting area, you had to bet something like $900 to win 100 on George Foreman if you wanted to bet on George here. That was a big, heavy jab to the bounce the head back of Edelson Rodriguez. Rodriguez came back and started throwing some punches at George, but George seemingly not affected by the punches of Edelson Rodriguez. George not breathing real heavy here in the first round. Of course, George in his entire career has had the record where first, second, third, fourth round knockouts were his style, even in the early going. And then since his comeback, most of them come early. And Rodriguez is a world-class fighter, and something different. The right hand gets through. The first big right hand that George has thrown, it didn't do too much damage to Edelson Rodriguez. But those left jabs, as we call them, but there's really like a straight left hand because they bounce the head back of Rodriguez. George, very powerful guy and very dangerous. And of course, everybody over 40 years old in the United States, and I'm sure listening to us and watching around the world, everyone over 40, 40-something is rooting for George Foreman, with the exception of South America. I know you people down there love your man, Edelson Rodriguez. All right, the bell ends round number one. Kind of an even first round where Edelson Rodriguez was the aggressor and George is satisfied to just throw a few punches. Nobody really took command. Interesting note, in spite of the heat here, as we get ready for round number two, Big George stays on his feet, and Edelson Rodriguez, under the tutelage of Angelo Dundee across the way, is sitting down. This is George. Mike Tyson in his dressing room. Look at the look on his face. And a lot of people talking about Tyson. You hear the music in the background. He loves that as he's watching this fight, getting ready and concentrating on getting ready. This guy I expect to come out like a bull, the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, who, if people that are his fans are not pleased with the fact he lost to Buster Douglas, nobody is more displeased than he was to lose that fight. And it'll be interesting to see what he has to do a little bit later on this evening. He takes on Henry Tillman. All right, round two. George Foreman and Edelson Rodriguez. Let's see if George tries to get a little bit more active. Edelson Rodriguez doing exactly in that, I know the style that Angelo Dundee trains his fighters exactly as you could predict, and that's trying to stay away from George, make George move around, make George try to cut him off in the corners, make him chase him, mix it up, throw a shot, and then get away. And that's what Dundee will want. In fact, Edelson probably mixed it up with George more in the first round than Angelo Dundee would have wanted him to do. But you know, when you coach a guy in between rounds, as you mix it up and the actual fighters get combative in the center of the ring, George getting a little cute on his feet and the crowd reacts to it. George fighting with that style where he crosses the arms in front of his chest and his face so he never takes a punch real flush. Even in the big loss to Muhammad Ali in '74, if you have had an opportunity to see that fight recently, remember George tumbling like a wounded bull in the center of the ring, and Ali never really throwing the big heavy punch that could have flattened him. There's two heavy punches thrown to the body of Rodriguez. And while the punches that time were wild by George, you can see if they were up on the head like that one was, that there's power in those punches. little bit of quickness with that. It was an awkward sort of right hand, but there's power there because of the sheer size. A man 263 pounds that may weigh as much as 275 today. The weigh-in was yesterday. There's so much power behind it. Those arms on George are like tree trunks. Of course, that has the biggest thing to do with the downside of George's career. When you see great big guys like this, and real heavy arms get fatigued as the fight progresses. And again, in the comeback road, it's interesting to note that George has only had to go 10 rounds one time, and that was against Everett Martin in Tucson, Arizona in July of '89. And in that fight, he won that on a decision. Fighting twice in '90, in January and April, winning both. One with a second round knockout, and one with a fourth round knockout. So Rodriguez coming inside more than Dundee would want. He's open. There's a shot. A left hook catches him, and down goes Rodriguez. It looked almost like a grazing shot. It counts up to 5 and 6 and 7. He's not going to make it. It's 8, 9, and 10. It's all over. A second round knockout for George Foreman. So George Foreman is for real. He has now defeated a world-class fighter with a second-round knockout. 41 years old, it came at 2:39 of the second round. George Foreman scores a big knockout. He didn't throw a lot of punches in the first round, and not too many more in the second round, but he threw the one that was important, and that's the one that flattened Ellison Rodriguez. A big left hand, and it was all over. There's Big George there. His record goes to 67-2, 63 knockouts since the coming out of retirement. As we see it again, look for the left hook. He sets it up here. The right hand misses now. Here it is, bam! And down he goes. And when he threw it, it didn't look like it was that heavy, but Ellison Rodriguez, a guy who scored 26 knockouts of his own, really on Queer Street. He cannot recover from that. So we answer the questions in a hurry here. Can George stay in there with a world-class fighter? The answer tonight is definitely yes. Misses the right, now watch the left hook. Here it comes, bang, right there. And again, it didn't look like it caught him that flush, but George is so big and so strong that Rodriguez can't recover from it. You can tell by the way his body is kind of going around awkwardly that he's definitely knocked out. Here he comes, he misses with the right. Now it's just the left hand, look at him, bang, he just catches him. The head spins and down he goes. And the awkward position he lands in and the way he falls, he tries to get up here and he just can't recover from it. Big George is for real. And it really makes the heavyweight picture ever so much more interesting to have George Foreman involved in it. I'm sure the American networks will be getting in there to interview George, and maybe we will have the opportunity to tap into the interview and hear a little bit of what they're saying to Big George Foreman. And if we can, we'll bring it to you. So stay right with us around the world on the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network, because not only was the Foreman fight interesting the way it ended and how rapidly it ended, but Mike Tyson and Henry Tillman coming up.
The time, 2 minutes, 39 seconds of the second round. The winner by a knockout, the former heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman.